Live from the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa, playing host to round 15 of 15 and the championship event in Season 4 of the Upstate Racing League at Lake City RC Speedway Pro Late Model Series Chase for the Checkers. Tonight, it is Chase Race 5 of 5, the Jeff Sears Memorial 150, and we have 131 miles, 150 laps on tap tonight to determine a new time champion in this series. That's one of the storylines that we have to talk about. Welcome to the LSRTV pre-race show, along with myself, Evan Pasoko, as always, PDJ Zeller up in the broadcast booth. PD, a lot of anticipation entering this night, a season that has gone on really for 15 races already, 15 points races, though we did have our season opener kind of fall tune-up back at Rockingham. That was in October of 2014, so this season has come full circle, and there's about 3-4 drivers that have a chance to walk away with this one with the championship, but one of them sits with a clear advantage over the rest. And by the way, he leads practice right now, and that is Brandon Odo.
Tonight from Newton, Iowa, you the fans voted on, and 1,800 votes came in from all parts of the world, and man, I gotta tell you, that's great that you guys really got out there and voted. All them votes, each one counted too. I hear it was a pretty close voting by the end of it, and so good job to all you. We're here in Newton, Iowa, and you know what? We're ready to duel it out for the championship. Evan, Brandon Odo, we have a clear advantage heading into this race, I do believe, but with Justin Fuller's suspension and all, Evan, it's going to be hard for anyone to really catch Odo, but we will see.
And you talk about that is a big storyline rolling out of the Salute to the Heroes 200 presented by the Lake City RC Speedway. That race was 1 week ago at the Stafford Motor Speedway. You'll be looking at some of the replays in that event, PD. Same thing that we saw earlier in this championship campaign that took Justin Brooks out of it, and that is the claim caution rule. If there is contact on track, which on these short track races under the lights, there typically is quite a bit of it out there, you can claim the caution and take an EOL penalty. Same thing that happened to Justin Brooks as Fuller got in an incident. He did not claim it. The review panel went back and looked at it. He was suspended for a run race, and that is not going to give him an opportunity to fight for this championship. Tough call on that, and it's something that you see in racing, PD, especially this close quarters racing, but Justin Fuller entering this season is something that we talked about, was the only person to walk away with an Upstate Racing League championship, 3-time defending champion at Season 4. There was a bounty put up to see if anybody could unthrone him and take that away from him, a $40 bonus if you take the championship away. Well, we are going to see a first-time champion after 150 laps this evening, but kind of funny how, almost strange, I guess we could say, how this has gone down with Brooks and Fuller, quite possibly two of the biggest favorites going into this championship, PD, dropping out from suspensions.
Yeah, I mean, I think Justin Brooks had a clear advantage heading this title. Everyone was pointing that 33 car to bring it home. I mean, there was really no question, it felt like, but that happened and took him out of it. Now with Justin Fuller being out of it, it really looks as though it's Brandon Odo. But Chris Cable, who now leads practice over his teammate Josh Cotton and Brandon Odo, has probably the best chance to take him down. Chris Cable and his other teammate, Cody Parker. It's between those three guys, really. I mean, if something were to happen to Odo tonight, it would be between the two teammates, Cable versus Cody, to win it all. And, man, I'm excited. We're going to have one heck of a race here, 16 cars showing up. I think that's about it right now. So a good-sized field, as always, with the Upstate Racing League. And for late models, that's quite a few cars to fit onto such a small track such as Newton, Iowa. And I know I say small track, but really for this series, this is I think this is actually the biggest track they go to at 0.88 miles. And the 4-turn little track out here in Iowa creates a lot of action. Last time we went here, we had a very controversial finish. It was the last race before the chase, and in daring 3-wide action coming to the white flag with Justin Fuller and Brandon Odo racing for the lead, Cody Parker dived it down to the bottom, took both the leaders out, not intentionally, and took home the victory in that race. So it was just a very spectacular race, and you know, Cody Parker won last time. We're here, no reason he can't tonight, but if he wants to win this title, he has to get it done tonight from Newton, Iowa. It's all on the line here tonight from Newton, Iowa.
And this is the championship event, and this season is going to be get back going for Season 5. Later on this year, October 22nd, is going to be the Season 5 points opener, and it is going to be right here at the Iowa Speedway. interesting enough. So you'll go back-to-back points racing at these tracks, one to end the season and one to kick it off. One of the tracks that was in the vote for this championship race this season, New Smyrna, has been put on the schedule to be the championship race, which will be decided for Season 5 in about 365 days from now. Still quite far away, but with the larger off-season, I guess, PD, that these guys have, a lot of leagues you'll see they'll go racing, and they're right back at it. This is our first night of our back-to-back doubleheader championship races on LSRTV, because tomorrow night, the iSuperspeedway.com Series Dayco Championship Racing, as soon as they're done, they're already getting their next season kicked off with the shootouts, with the duels. These guys have about 6 months to sit on what may happen here tonight and not be able to do anything about it. So there's a lot on the line, because you don't want to sit there for 6-7 months before we get back going on Season 5 later on in October and thinking about what could have been. And it can come down to just the blink of an eye, a very small moment out here on track that can change the championship and what it looks like at the end of the night.
Yeah, it's really going to be exciting to see who can get it done here. I mean, everyone has to bring their A game. Like you said, 6 months. A lot of these guys do live close to each other in real life, so I know a lot of them probably will meet up with each other and hang out and whatnot. But really, this is kind of your last chance to hang out with your friends, too. I'm sure they'll do a couple things during the off-season. It won't be like a weekly occurrence where you're practicing and training for these races. This is it. It's all on the line here. And, Evan, we're getting closer to the grid now, and I really, really think that this is going to be an exciting battle for the championship tonight. So, I mean, still a couple guys into it, and the rookie battle is interesting as well. Ryan Borges holds just a slim 4-point advantage over Cody Parker heading into this race. So that's another thing you have to watch out for. I mean, and just I'm looking down through the points with 16 people showing up tonight. There's going to be about 6 guys mathematically eligible. 3 guys realistically. If something awful were to happen, I guess Nicholas Rasmussen would have an outside shot. But, you know, Evan, I think that does say something about Nicholas Rasmussen, though. Whenever you look at him, he has yet to have a single top 5 this season, but his consistency in the top 10. He's second in this league, and top 10's only one behind Odo. Has kept him in this championship battle, so I'm sure he's endured, not the greatest run for the season, but I know he has the talent to get it on, and we could possibly see it. So we will see what goes down here tonight from Iowa.
And let's let everybody know what those championship standings do look like after 13 official starts counted towards it. It is Brandon Odo, who, interesting enough, in the vote, and we talked to him last week about this 2 weeks ago, as we did have an off-week PD, but what he was talking about was really the fact that he did not like this Iowa racetrack. And when we went on air, although he sits third right now, he's been top of the board. So we know that that 24 car has speed. He's going to enter the undeniably favorite because he has 12 points over both the cars that are tied for second position that are 12 back, Chris Cable and Cody Parker in the number 2 spots. Again, still there, 12 points out, but when you look at a field that's at 16 cars strong, you need that 24 to make a mistake, and something that we talked about week in and week out that we really talked about it towards the end of the regular season, PD, and that is bonus points. At that time, we were talking about that to get into this championship. These guys need to get out there and lead at least lap, I would think, and they need something to happen to Brandon Odo. He does not like this track. He's fast, but that's practice. Put him out there if he's not all that comfortable. One mistake can really, again, change the whole picture of this championship. But I don't see any way that you got Chris Cable, and Cody Parker that are going to be able to do this unless there is some sort of an issue for that 24 car. 4th position, 14 back is Nicholas Rasmussen, Dale O'Neill, 15 points back. You talked about them. Really, they're not all that far off of Cable and Parker, who are tied for second, but it does appear to be, for the most part, a 3-horse race, but you almost want to say it's the 24 cars race to lose.
You know, it really is his race to lose. Not like the term he does not feel comfortable, because I do believe Brandon Odo does feel comfortable. Now, this is not his favorite track, but really, Odo is such an elite driver, almost in a class of his own when you don't have the likes of Brooks and Fuller racing him. Odo, I'm sure, does feel better now that he knows he doesn't have to race Fuller. Actually, talking to Odo, he does feel really confident heading in this race, and, you know, he's been around since the beginning of Upstate. It's not like he's just some new guy in the league. He's been here since its early roots way back when, and Odo has always just wanted to win a championship, and really, he's won races in the past, but I think this is his night after all these years racing for Fuller with championships. And there has been some good battles between Odo and Fuller for the championship, and obviously Fuller has won all of them. Tonight's the night for him to finally get it done and ready. So, Evan, I think they're about to grid up here, and we're going to see some exciting action.
Your racing still coming here very soon. Warm-up is coming down to the final few moments, and there's some of the storylines to talk about entering this race that Odo has to stay out of trouble because it's not one of his better tracks, but Parker and Cable have been battling in this. The three-time champion has been suspended. We were talking about that. Same reason that Brooks was suspended, which takes that car out of the picture. But one of the things that may not get as much light shed on it as it should, but Borges leads right now the NHR Racing Rookie of the Year standings by 4 points over Parker. So Parker would need to finish 5 spots in front of Ryan Borges to take the Rookie of the Year titles, which is as well something that, again, we talked about the championship lead. We talked about the guys maybe 5th on back aren't in it. There's still fights going on to get a top 5, etc. Positions in that regard that are going to be able to give people those opportunities to get, something out of it as now qualifying and rather practice comes down to a close.
Yeah, and these guys are ready to get going here. There will be no rains tonight, and it will be exciting. So we'll see. Ryan Borges was the leader in final practice. He had a 24.923 over Chris Cable with a 24.926, and it's all going to come down to this. And Evan, for the first time this season, we're going to see a new pole setter. So I'm excited. Let's get this thing down underway. Let's go through the grid here.
The grid is down on pit lane, and we get sent to go racing for the final time at a first-time champion. Will be declared when this one is said and done. The 96 as well, league administrator and our in-race reporter for this event. Piloting the number 96 car, Al Smith Jr. is going to be putting that car up on the top of the board. Second position to AJ Bunch in the 23 car.
The AJ Bunch started up front a lot this season, then we moved back to third, Dan DeBuke, and that's a great start for him. Probably his best this season. I don't think I've seen on the front with the whole season. And fourth to another title contender, Nicholas Rasmussen.
You got Cody Myers back starting P5 as the field rolls down the back straightaway, and in sixth position as well, Andre Bedonin in the 97 round.
Yeah, and in sixth tonight, we have the number, oh man, my thing's still refreshing here. We have the number, I'm sorry, I got a little confused. Joshua Cotton in seventh, Ryan Borges in eighth.
Ninth position, Mike King, and rounding out the top 10, Cody Parker.
11th, Chris Cable. 12th to our points leader, Brandon Odo.
Kind of funny how those three cars are all stacked up, and they're all going to be back there at the tail end of the top 10. Kevin Baker will be starting 13th position. 14th is Brian Rogers Jr.
15th, Jay DeBuke, and rounding out your field tonight, Mr. Excitement in 22 and 16th.
Those 16 cars take to the grid, and realistically, maybe 3 or 4 of them can challenge Brandon Odo if he has trouble. If it's not even a good night, as long as it's not bad, then that 24 is going to become the second driver to walk away with the championship in this series. Other than that, the only other person that has been able to walk away with it, Justin Fuller, is not in the field, and our pole sitter and our in-race reporter has had some sort of an issue. That's also the car that sits on race control. The 96 of Al Smith Jr. has disconnected from the sim and is going to have some sort of extent of an issue. He is now reconnecting. That's going to take him off of the top spot and now slide Danny DeBuke up. It looks like the 61 may take over for the top spot, P. Because the lights are off of the pace car, not everybody can shuffle back out and really put AJ Bunch back to the lead. So I believe everybody on those odd numbered positions are going to slide up on that bottom lane, and the 61 car will be in control of Al Smith Jr., who was fast coming into this race, was on the top, is not going to be able to start from that number 1 position. Pace car ducks down and away. 61 in control of this field as Dan DeBuke leads us at a quarter 4. Green flag flies. The season finale at a Jeff Sears Memorial 150 from the Iowa Speedway is Green Flag Racing.
Yeah, I don't know what Dan was doing there. He kind of just really checked up and let AJ Bunch get around him, I think, maybe out of respect. And on the outside comes Nicholas Rasmussen with a hard charge. Rasmussen needs to win this race.
3 wide contact. The 97 car turnaround. Big trouble in the back.
Andre Bedoin, the 79 of Kevin Baker. 2 guys turn around, no caution, and now there's a caution as those 2 went around. It was just a case of the 97 actually came up, put the 41, a championship contender, to the wall. He hooked Odo. I'm trying to watch this, and Odo, I think, is okay, but he did get a little bit of damage. 2 championship cars with damage, and Evan after lap 1. Oh my goodness, Cody Parker got destroyed, Evan. So really, that is one that's really hurt early.
In big trouble early. It started on the restart with a little bit of a checkup that made a 3-wide situation. Borges went high. The 97 was going backwards, and it looked like he thought the 41 was cleared, PD, maybe in his blind spot. You'll see the replay going up now. He just went up like he looked like he was trying to get in front of Graves in the 22 car and just turned right into the 41. That is one of these drivers that is trying to be able to get the championship as well as good points in this race, and it was not a good start for the Cody Parker entry because that car was hard in the fence. And then Odo got sideways into 24, and he probably would have lost that engine and gone into the outside wall if it wasn't for the 41, who got turned back around and hit by TJ Graves. And already on lap number 1, 2 out of the 3 cars that are really the main focus entering this one in the championship are going to pick up some extent of damage. And now this could play into Chris Cable's favor because the 05 car, the U.S. Air Force entry, is in front of Brandon Odo, who has severe right rear damage. Going to be interesting to see how much that would hinder him, and he's in front of him.
I mean, still a lot has to happen, folks. Remember, for let's say Odo finishes dead last, let's say Al Smith and Andre Badone both pass him. So he would finish in the 16th position tonight. He has a 12-point advantage over Chris Cable. Without any bonus points, Cable would have to finish all the way up in 4th tonight to win the championship. So still, Chris Cable has to have a lot go his way if he wants to win this thing. But I mean, that certainly helped his case. Nothing wrong there. But Brandon Odo, I'm sure Chris Cable would be smiling a little bit more if Odo would have blown a motor there. Of course, in the spirit of competition, you never want to see your opponents like lose a motor or anything. But in the points-wise, I'm sure he wouldn't have minded too much if he would have lost motor. And already car out of the race, Kevin Baker is gone. So if we lose another guy, really this championship is they're gonna need Odo to have problems quick if we see guys dropping like we are right now, because Kevin Baker's out of Bowden. I'm not sure if he'll get back out there. It looks like he's trying though, Evan.
Yeah, with the new build that came out on iRacing just yesterday, you can actually get an entirely blown engine fixed. It will take a substantial amount of time for the team to put a new one in there, but Baker had heavy black smoke pouring from it, and it may have been an outrageous number as such, so he is manually disconnected from this. We are behind the pace car with the lights on, and it is AJ Bunch who tops the pile. Nicholas Rasmussen as well. We talk about Cable and Parker. Rasmussen's only really 2 points behind them, so the 23, and that's a big 2 points when you talk about the smaller field size. Really needs, again, Odo to have issues early, and it's a very tough situation to be put in as a race car driver, to have to depend a championship, really, not only this race, but the championship, and your hopes at walking away with it depend on somebody else's misfortune, which, as you said, you hate to wish that upon one of your fellow competitors, but, I mean, it is for a championship.
Cody Parker does have substantial damage. I'm getting an update from his crew, and Evan, he keeps bringing that machine down pit road, getting the damage looked at. I really, really do believe that it's going to hinder a shot tonight. That car is not going to be up to speed, I don't think. It's up front where it's very important on that car. So I'll keep you up to date on what's going on with him. We still do not have 1 to green yet. We have 2 to green. And right now, a guy who's sitting pretty is that 05 of Chris Cable. He's the only one who made it through that Sky Free, and like I said, though, he does need more issues. Like, he needs Odo to wreck now, Evan, because let's be honest here. If Odo doesn't wreck probably by lap 25, there will be enough cars out where he can basically win the championship just by parking it almost.
We do expect the lights to go off for the pace car this time by current race leader is the number 23, iRacing Memes Ford Fusion of AJ Bunch, who tops the pile. The 71, the 61 to 57, already tucked up right behind them, getting ready to go. This one going. It's Ford's on the inside, Chevy's on the outside for the front 2 lanes as the lights go off for the pace car. This restart, and again, the incident really crossed it over from lap 1 over the 2 where the leaders were by the time the caution was triggered. Almost thought we were going to be able to get away with it because those cars that had come to a stop were off at the track, but then the additional spin by the 41 car in 3 after the 24 made a miraculous save and just clipped him. Did a good job still on Cody's behalf to not put it in the fence, but he did come to a stop up in the racing groove, and that is what brought us under the caution flag condition. So first restart coming off of a yellow tonight will take lap 7 of 150, and again, that's the lap total in this race, and a total of 131 miles before it is all said and done. By the way, Al Smith is back on track. He is 14th and 2 laps down after those connection issues on the start. Pace car is down and away, 23 in control, about 1.5 second hesitation, green flag back out, and as we send it off in the quarter number 1, back green at the Iowa Speedway. This championship race looks to get back going with now only 13 cars on the lead lap. Things not looking good early, at least, pretty much because they were in the incident, but as well, things not looking promising right now for the Parker and Cable entries, as right now Odo does not really have enough spots almost to lose.
And right now on the outside, the 05 of Cable is going to take over that 4th position power move Big move by him on that restart. Now they're racing behind him for more positions. Right now, Borges versus the 61 Dubuque. Borges is trying to get up there right now, try to get up front, will take his first one of the season finale. So he's going to continue to race Dan Dubuque here. Dubuque and his infamous Sonic Machine. That's a great looking car. Probably one of the more pretty paints we've seen this season. He's up top there now, hanging on to it, and here he will hang on. So now it'll be the 4 of Cotton who will challenge him. And Josh Cotton now is going to try to follow through, and he's bringing Brandon Odo through with him. So right now, all these guys are trying to find out where they belong on the racetrack right now, and that's really what we're seeing a lot of right now. And looking at lap times right now, really, the cars are up right now that are the fastest on the racetrack is Chris Cable. By far, Evan, he's been the fastest car on the racetrack these last few laps. You can tell he's been practicing. As Nicholas Rasmussen's in the wall, and Cable thinks about taking it 3 wide, but will think smarter. It's too early in the race for that type of stuff.
You know, he'll give the bump to the 57 of Cody Myers and assist that 57 Coca-Cola entry into the quarter, maybe push him a little bit wide off the 2, and now to the bottom goes that 05 car. That was scored just 4th position across the start-finish line, trying to get 2 of them in 1 lap. He'll work the bottom down in 3 and 4, which is a turn in comparison to 1 and 2 that you'll see some of these guys ride a little bit higher on throughout this run as that progressive, but the 05 car does have it at the start-finish line. Cody Myers not giving up that Coke Zero entry. May want to get down in line, though, instead of battling with the 05, because if he fights for 1 more corner, that may open up the door, and Nicholas Rasmussen may be bringing Ryan Borges with him to the bottom. 57, 1 last shot at it in 3 and 4, and I think he's going to be able to stay clear on that 71 car, so a good job by being able to, I guess, defend that number 3 spot. And now the next battle on track right behind him, Rasmussen is still going backwards. Over Borges finds himself up high, thinks about going 3 wide, still thinks too early, though. 12 laps into it, he has to check up for now for the 71 car. Going back after moving forward on that first hit, went from 4th to 2nd, has only gone backwards, and he continues to slide out of 4th.
Update, Andre Baudouin did rejoin the racetrack, so I think that's a big deal, because if he can stay out there, that could be more positions for the number 24 to lose if he were involved in it. Oh, here we go, 71 driving up the racetrack, almost into Ryan Borges, will not do so. Borges will continue to live on. So that was a close call there as he still up the racetrack. And as I'm looking right now at the intervals, right now, Chris Cable is about 10th a lap faster than the leader, Anthony Bunch. Anthony Bunch, or some of you know him, AJ Bunch, is the teammate of Brandon Odo. So I'm really curious to see how hard he will battle it out right now for this top spot, really trying to hold off and really stop the 05 from scoring too many bonus points. So, but right now, Chris Cable is coming on strong. He came mentally prepared for this race, and he's really hauling the mail right now. So I'm looking back a little further, and the 41 has made his way back around a few cars out of him. That car actually looks pretty in decent shape. I think the crew did a great job fixing that. And he's starting to reel in Brandon Odo. If you're Cody Parker and you have damage and you don't think you'll be able to win this race, doesn't your goal immediately become beating Odo to help your teammate if you're the number 41 right now?
He may be trying, but again, he has left side damage. The 24 has right rear damage, but it's kind of limited to that side of the car. The 41 has that whole left-hand side. All the sheet metal is pancaked in. He's doing pretty good at hanging with the 24, about 2.5, maybe 3 car lengths off of that. That would be a battle for 8th position if anything comes of that. The top 12 are within 3 seconds of each other. Only 1 car in the lead lap is quote-unquote off pace. It is the 66 of J. Dubuque, who qualified in 15th out of 16 starting spots, was last out of the cars that put down a time in qualifying. He's 8.8 off, and just looks like that 66 does not quite have the handle on it. Meanwhile, for the top spot, 1 car that does have the handle on it and wants to pick up the top one is the 05, doing what he needs to do. Chris Cable, the U.S. Air Force Chevy to the inside on AJ Bunch, side by side the top spot, down the back.
Side by side, AJ Bunch fighting for all he's worth on the outside. This is important. His teammate needs him to work harder than he's worked the whole season right now. But does he have it in? This time by the stripe, Cable going for his first bonus point, gets it. Chris Cable leads that lap by a close margin. And Chris Cable now going to continue to try to fight with the 23 of Anthony Bunch. Anthony Bunch now up the racetrack a little bit, and that's going to really give him a good run off of corner number 2. So Chris Cable now fighting back, and this could go on for laps here. Chris Cable, I'm sure, just wants to get clear, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to with the way Bunch is fighting. He really needs Bunch to just have a little bit of a bobble right now if he has any shot at taking over this lead right here. And Bunch isn't letting up whatsoever right now, although Cable got in the corner number 1 pretty deep and good that time, although it won't be enough out of him. This battle could continue for several laps if these guys don't decide who really wants the lead here, and I can almost promise you that Chris Cable isn't giving up anytime soon.
And you can see that because they're side by side so even, it has been the 05 by 13 1,000ths, then 10 1,000ths, this time by 11 1,000ths. Wicked coincidental times there for the 23 and the 05 car. They're not running their top speeds when they're side by side, and now you see that 32 Orion Borges creeping into the picture. Don't think that JD Marketing entry, at least at the moment, is as fast as the 05, but because he's fighting with AJ Bunch, the 32 may be able to sneak on by with that 05. It's just not getting clear that time. Was Chris Gable, he'll retain the top spot in this time by about half a tenth a second, so that's the largest margin they've had, although still door-to-door in the last few laps. The 23 car, though, really hoping that he can get everything he can off the corner, take that run down the banking, down the straightaway. You see that's when he comes back up to the 05, but I feel like eventually the 05 is going to win this just on sheer speed alone because of how quickly he caught AJ, how aggressively he made the move, and there you go, sliding up and clear, and now taking sole possession at the top spot, the 05 to the point, and here you see Borges really driving it in. The most important thing is for Chris Gable, he has that bonus point, PD. Most laps led as well. Very crucial, and that's why he's really, you can't get that lap led and then fall back. He really needs to dig hard. He needs to drive as hard as he has all year long and run the defensive line to try to get in whatever bonus points he can, because right now Odo sits right now P9. Wouldn't be enough quite yet. He needs everything he can get, and that is leading the most laps, leading a lap. That's a handful of bonus points, plus taking it to victory lane. He's doing so far what he needs to do. Only 23 laps into this, we are.
I mean, really right now, with Odo in 9th and him in the lead, it's a 12-point interval. I'm thinking about bonus points, and he's either just going to be 1 point shy right now or 2. It's really close, and Odo is fighting right now with his teammate Mike King in the 4, and he's going to give up early in the race. Smart move. Odo really can't lose any more positions here. If he loses another position or two, I think it's Chris Cable's championship. Chris Cable, I mean, when you're talking about a 12-point difference, there's not a whole lot you can do. Chris Cable knew coming in this race, the only thing that was in his hands is he needed to win tonight. There was nothing else he could possibly do to possibly ensure that he would win the title unless he won tonight and Odo had problems. And he's doing the first part of it right. He's winning this race. Now he just needs a little bit of help from Lady Luck on his side. But right now, the way he's driving this race, we're looking at him right now, and Chris Cable, man, doing a fantastic job right now as you guys are on board with Brandon Odo sitting right behind Mike King. And Odo's behind a big hornet's nest of cars right here. I mean, Odo's probably thinking they're going to wreck, and Odo's thinking about taking it 3 wide. Will he? No, he will not. Very smart move there on the 24, and the two teammates, the 04 and 41, will continue to do in front of him. So I don't know what's going to happen here, Evan, but one thing I do know for sure is that Brandon Odo needs to get 2 or 3 safety spots here if he wants to feel really safe about this title.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be able to get one depending on, what shakes out in front of him, but that 71 has still been going backwards, and that's why this pack is kind of scrunched up, because they are all trying to get around the 71 of Nicholas Rasmussen. Moved down to the bottom, did not work that last time for Odo. That allows the 22. You see TJ Graves start to close into double clutch Chevrolet entry, not too far off. Dan DeBook was there, slides off a little bit. You see that 24 fighting with the 04 down on the inside. That's Mike King in a Mountain Dew entry who sits up high. But I feel that if this run continues at least in the pace that they are, even if the 24 is not able to hang on to the spot with the 04, as Mike King is really doing a perfect job at just running that outside line and defending his position, I still feel that Nicholas Rasmussen is going to be able to slide, or rather he'll slide back, and those guys will be able to get around him. Meanwhile, PD battle up front. Looks like the 32's digging on Chris Cable. It got close just a moment ago.
Yeah, Borges almost opened the door of that 05. That was a scary moment right there. And I mean, right now, that's not what the leader of Chris Cable wants to see. He just wants to lead laps, and Borges and Cable have raced for many wins this season now. Between the both of them, there's only one win. You probably think, how? Well, they've had awful, awful luck so far, and those two are continuing to stay out front. Looking back, we have a huge hornet's nest of cars here. And, I mean, it's all right in front of Brandon Odo and the 41. Those two championship contenders need to get around that. The 71 of Rasmussen, I think, right now is a little bit slow, and he's really holding up this pack, so they're all going to try to race around him. What this has done, though, is allow TJ Graves, Mr. Excitement, to catch right up to Brandon Odo's bumper. I'll be interested to see how that works out for Odo. And here goes Odo underneath the 04 of Mike King. So Odo now is trying to make some moves happen as we watch these two continue to battle out. Just a whole lot of battling. This is why Iowa's a great place to sell the championship, because this side-by-side racing really is something significant to Iowa with the late model. The runs you can get on the outside and the dive-ins you can get on the inside really keep the racing side-by-side. The drivers probably hated Evan because it's so hard to clear someone, but for the fans, it's probably pretty fun to watch.
This racetrack does feature the progressive banking, 12 degrees down low, 14 up high. Very common to see a 2-degree difference. You wouldn't think that does a lot, but you see it at some tracks like this and some of the larger intermediate tracks as well that bring that high lane into effect. And this is one of the tracks, and that's why you see that outside lane. Typically, they lose a whole lot of time on entry. You see they lose a little bit. We continue to look at this side-by-side battle that is 2 rows deep. Just around 7th position. The leader still fighting as well as Borges back down to the inside on Chris Cable. Still nothing brewing that time by, but the outside is able to utilize that little bit of extra banking, hook up the right side of that car, get really the run off the corner, coming down that banking onto the straight, which gives them the ability to get clear and then sail it off down into the next quarter. It's not easy to pass somebody, even if you're a little bit faster than them. If they have the ability to be up high, you can't swing that car wide out to the outside wall. You're not really able to get that. Now battle for third. They're fighting all over the racetrack. Great racing out here on this second green flag stint of the race. The 4 of Joshua Cotton slides right up in front and clear of AJ Bunch. Looks like the 23 stuck the hand out the window net and told him to go on by. Really didn't challenge him for it. Cotton thanks Bunch over the radio, but the 4 car now slides up into a top 3 spot.
So good move by him, and also Brandon Odo up to 6th, and a few last lap daring moves. Has now made his way all the way up to the 6th position, slid it in right behind Cody Parker in the 41. So those guys going at it. Chris Cable starting to pull away now from Ryan Borges, so we'll see if he can continue to keep up his ferocious pace. And right now throughout the field, the battling has kind of halted for one single moment here as we look at this right now. First battle on the racetrack is for 8th. That's between TJ Graves and Mike King in the 04. So we'll see who wins that one. Mr. Excitement has already seen his fair share of excitement in this race with the first accident, and we'll see if that continues to be a trend moving forward. Lap 35 and 150. These guys are getting closer to the 1/3 mark here, and really right now this race, can't say I'm too surprised by what I've seen. I figured we'd see 1 or 2 wrecks early, and then just a whole lot of green flag action, and I knew that Cable or Parker was going to be fast here, because you have to figure those 2 guys have been practicing all week. They have to win this race, and right now Chris Cable's showing why practice makes perfect, because he's out front, and actually he's battling Ryan Borges for the lead right now, Evan.
And this time by, give it to the 32. Bonus point. Going to go in the camp of the 32 of Ryan Borges. He led it that time by, however, very similar to how Chris Cable got the top spot, is not going to be able to just sail it off and be clear once he gets a nose out in front for the first time. They remain door to door. This battle continues for the top spot. Josh Cotton is 6/10 off again. He just got around AJ Bunch. Started back in 7th position, however, was a top 3 car in practice. He is now moving to the field, and a very similar situation that we saw how Ryan Borges got to the top spot, Speedy, and that is that 4 car. If he's able to utilize these guys battling up front, which they just now single file out, Borges will be clear by a car length over the 05 of Chris Cable. So now Ryan Borges going to the top spot. That could be huge if Borges leads more laps than Chris has so far, because those are bonus points that the 05 desperately needs, especially considering now that you got Brandon Odo up to P6. As he was able to get around Nicholas Rasmussen, get around Mike King, and gain those spots.
Yeah, right now the crew chief of Chris Cable just got ferocious. He just doesn't know what to do. He has to get his driver in the lead right now, and he's hoping that his teammate Josh Cotton will help him somewhat get back to the top spot right now. And Ryan Borges, though, is looking stout right now. He's racing for that rookie championship in the 32. Is a great driver. Put it any way you want. That 32 knows how to get it done on any given Thursday night. So right now we're watching him as JD Marketing Machine pull away from the 2 No Luck Bandits racing guys, and it's been a lot of fun. These guys are really having a lot of fun out here. The Iowa Speedway producer to great racing here, like Evan was talking about, the progressive banking. And as we look throughout this field, really you have to think right now is Dan DeBuke. There's 2 DeBukes here tonight. Dan DeBuke and Cody Myers are going to battle for the 10th position. You really have to think here is the tires are getting warmer. They're getting a little bit more or less grip on the racetrack. So these guys' cars are probably loosening up a little bit, and the side-by-side racing will halt, because the outside line possesses such a great advantage when the tires get this hot that it's really hard to do anything down low, because your car gets aero loose and whatnot. So we're watching these guys continue to race out, and these tires are probably getting a little bit slick right now. Probably looking forward to these first pit stops coming up here, and not too terribly long. So just looking at these guys now, and they got to be thinking about, when do I get tires, or do I get tires? And if I do get tires, how many do I get, 2 or 4? Because surprisingly, Evan, you never come down pit road and get 3 tires.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the best strategical move in that regard. We do have a change for position, and it is with the championship leader, Nicholas Rasmussen, clearing the 24 into 1. Odo now fighting back, and he's going to be able to maintain the position. He still scored 6th at the stripe as he was the last time around. The 71 car now finds himself in an interesting spot because he's technically the car that's trying to make the pass, but he finds himself in a spot where the cars on the defensive have been all night long. He was able to get to him after Odo got real tight coming off the corner out of 4 just about 2-3 laps ago. Really had to back out of it, did not hit the fence, but came pretty much as close as you can get without actually knocking the thing down, and was able to escape any further damage to that race car. Good fight going on for the last spot inside of the top 10. It is still held by the Coke Zero Chevrolet entry of Cody Myers. Down to the bottom, the 61 Sonic car, though. Dan DeBoot making the run and just about getting as much clear as you can down there on the bottom lane. He will now slide up. No, 57 with an aggressive drive into the corner. Does he get the exit that he needs to be able to hang on and continue to defend? Yes, he does. Great run on the outside by Cody Myers. Really committed that thing in on that middle lane, running up on the outside of the 61. Still trying to hang on. However, he looks like he's not liking 1 and 2 so much. That's where he gave DeBoot a huge advantage the last time by. Now Danny in that number 61 car will get clear and maintain that number 10 position. And now the battle goes for 11th because Cody Myers in that number 57 car still going backwards. Brian Rogers Jr., the 12th car on the offensive. He holds the bottom.
2 laps go, Chris Cable scraped the wall off of corner number 4. His car is not up to speed whatsoever right now. He got passed by the number 4 of Josh Cotton. He's losing spots rapidly. So we're watching right now Al Smith and the 23 of AJ Bunch. That's not a battle for position. Al Smith multiple laps down. If it were, though, it would be a battle for 4th because here comes Cody Parker right behind the 23. This will be a battle for position. And that's a really tough break there for Chris Cable. He kind of is starting to fall off here. He doesn't have quite the long run car he needs. Must have his car prepared for the late race charge here, and right now AJ Bunch and the 41 of Cody Parker are going to be going at it. I'll be curious to see who wins that one. Remember, Cody Parker with a bunch of left side damage is fighting back hard here, and he's in a very similar, actually the same exact position as Chris Cable. He needs to win this race if he wants any shot. Last time we were here, I mean, it was a daring move that got him to victory lane. Could possibly tonight he could make a daring move that could give him the championship lane here.
And he's going to have to really make something happen. He's fighting right now with AJ Bunch. The battle for P4. The 41 car had it the last time by, but again, with that left side damage, we don't know how strong he really would be. Chris Cable, who sits 3rd position, is 1.4 off at the top spot, so he has quite a good little gap over Cody Parker, AJ Bunch, Brandon Odom, and company. But when we went back green flag racing about 10 laps into this run, PD, it was Chris Cable who looked like he may be leading the championship if it were have ended right there. Now he has slid back to 3rd. Brandon Odom moves up to 6th position, and right now it's well in the favor of the 24. As this race continues to progress throughout the evening, we are 1/3 distance as Ryan Borges completes lap number 49, crosses over. He starts lap 50 and will be 1/3 of the way through tonight's 150 lap and 131 miler Jeff Sears Memorial 150 in the championship event for the Upstate Racing League. Chase for the checkers in the Lake City RC Speedway Pro Late Model Series season. Borges is going to be challenging Chris Cable for the most laps led, which is something that the 05 desperately needs. We're going to take a caution flag of our own as we stay under green flag racing conditions, go side by side. You're watching championship race in action with the Upstate Racing League from Iowa Speedway.
Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Back live at the Iowa Speedway, you're watching LSRTV's continuing coverage of the Upstate Racing League and the Season 4 Championship Night. For the Lake City RC Speedway Chase for the Checkers Pro Late Model Series, the Jeff Sears Memorial. 150 past 1/3 distance, and you saw it on the side-by-side. Change for the top spot after starting in 7th. To the top of the board goes the 4 of Joshua Cotton. Good news for Chris Cable, because that means that Borges has not been able to be out there and leading more laps, trying to take away the most laps led. However, it has been a kind of sequential change of the passing of the torch, I guess, if you want to say, for the top spot. Cable got it, but Borges was already coming. He took it from him. Cotton was following Borges through. Now that Joshua Cotton's up to the top spot, PD, there's nobody else moving through the field. Borges is going backwards on the 4 car. The 05 is going backwards on the 4 car. And right now, that 4 looking pretty stout as he starts to sail off in that top spot.
Yeah, the only car I'm looking at right now is Cody Myers is officially out of the race. We're down to 14 cars, and time is ticking away. Is that number 41 of Cody Parker? He's pretty fast, although Mike King has been just a little bit faster, and I'm looking at their lap times. And until they started racing, they were a lot faster than the leader, so I don't know. I guess we'll see if they can continue to close in the gap here. And right now, I'm looking at him, Brandon Odo in 9th. He's falling back a little bit more, Evan. So, I mean, he's not doing good right now. He has 10th right on his bumper. I mean, the title is in Chris Cable or Cody Parker's hand. They literally just have to get up there and lead this race if they want to win this thing. It's easier said than done, but Odo's not going to battle for 10th. Evan, really, if Cody Parker or Chris Cable can just find a glimpse of speed and take this lead, they could win the title, because Odo's in 10th right now. That's too far back. And, I mean, Chris Cable, if he can just get clutch right now. And I love the phrase clutch, because my definition of clutch may be a little different than your guys'. My definition of clutch is someone who perseveres despite all odds in a very, very, emotional experience. I think if Chris Cable can get clutch right now, he could take home this title, but he just has to find that extra, bit of willpower and speed. And we're not even halfway yet, Evan, so everything's going to change, and I'm saying this all right now. But Chris Cable needs to be leading these laps. These are important laps to lead.
Yeah, and it is those bonus points. If you want to win the championship with 11 cars on the lead lap, and by the way, the longer we go green, the longer that we're obviously racing, means there's more time for our leader to catch up to the guys at the back of the pack, and more cars are going to fall off the lead lap. And if it's not the 24 that's slipping off, that is positions that you're going to lose your opportunity to get from right now. The 24 sits 10th. If Chris Cable leads right now from the rest of this to the end and everybody stays, he wins the championship, because he would have bonus points for not only leading a lap, which he's one of the only drivers out of the top 3, 4, whatever that we talked about for the major championship contenders that has led. But again, most laps led. A max points night may be what it takes, because of the trouble that we had some guys have early that have knocked Al Smith Jr., Jay DeBook, Andre Badoin, Cody Myers, and Kevin Baker off. of at least the lead lap, and 3 of those cars out of contention. We're 2 wide, 2 rows deep, and it is all around that 24 car. First fight goes on for 7. TJ Graves has it right now, the 23 of AJ Bunch sliding backwards. That 23 was leading this race earlier after qualifying on the outside of the front row, and really since then AJ's only been going backwards.
It's been a tough fall down for him, and you really got to hope that he can get together here, because we knew that he was very excited coming into this event. So we'll see if he can recover and get back up there in a race of the leaders like he once was. And this big pack back here, if I was Brandon Odo, I'd almost just back off, honestly, right now. This pack is too big and too hairy for, if I'm the points leader, to want to be involved in this. There's a lot to lose here, and really, with Jay, I mean, I keep on to say Jay, but Dan DeBuke and Brian Rogers Jr. right on his bumper. It's time for him to just lay off the gas pedal, fall back a little bit, and think, you know what, if I can get involved in a wreck, it's all done. If I fall back, it's wrecking right in front of him. And that's his teammate, AJ Bunch, just as I was talking about it. He goes into the grass, no damage, he'll continue to fight on. And I was just talking about it, that almost was really bad for Brandon Odo.
Yeah, the 23 clobbered the wall. The right side of that machine is looking like the left side of the 41 as AJ Bunch gets going. If that 24 was about 5 feet closer to him, he would be head-on into the inside wall. His engine would be gone, and so would his championship, just as you mentioned it. And you take a look at the replay right now. Things like that, split-second things that you have no control. Looking out on that, and if we interview that 24 car down with the championship stage, that could be the moment that he almost saw it get away from him. He does remain in 9th position because the 61 of Dan DeBuke is able to get back around him, but now the 12 of Brian Rogers Jr. Again, the only car really now in the lead lap that could contend that 24 for a running spot, because AJ Bunch is 15 seconds back and slowing because he does have the damage on that race car. Critical for the 24 to hang on to 9th position. Would be great if he can get up to 8th, because again, every single point counts. However, the 32 Orion Borges transferred back up to the top spot, was sliding back after that 4 car got it from him, PD, and now you see Borges kind of coming back here within 0.2 of a second. No good news for Chris Cable, though, was the fact that the 05 still sits in 3rd, but is now sliding to 3.6 seconds and really nowhere near the top spot.
Not at all what they need to see right now, so we'll hopefully see these guys catch back up. But, I mean, AJ Bunch, you know, since Odo didn't help him, I guess that does technically help Brandon Odo, because he did gain another position, but he just lost that one position and got to Dan DeBuke. Oh, he slides into DeBuke! Brandon Odo and DeBuke slide, and they both hang on. DeBuke into the wall. Hard contact for DeBuke. And Evan, I was saying he needs to get away from these cars, and Brandon Odo is going to continue to fight on. And race control throws the caution. There was no wreck. I don't know what this is about, Evan.
Yeah, we had trouble on the front straightaway. That coordinated with the issues that we saw with those other cars. We had a couple of incidents there, about 3 or 4 of them, but they did not trigger caution flags because nobody technically went past 90 degrees. The caution flag will now slow things down as we reach the halfway point in the competition caution in this evening's Jeff Sears Memorial 150. That's what Chris Cable needed. However, in the same regard, that's not what he needed, because that gives Brandon Odom, that gives Cody Parker opportunities to be able to get back up with everybody, come down pit road, get some of their equipment fixed, and go back at it. This race could easily go green all the way, really, PD. This is our second caution of the evening, and the first one was on the first lap, so we went pretty much half of this race under green flag conditions. 11 cars remain on the lead lap. It appears that the 96 is going to go to the lucky dog position, as Alex Smith Jr. was just able to get a spot after Jay DeBuke fell off one more lap. The 66 it still has a clean car, good condition on it, but it really hasn't had the speed since the start of it. Meanwhile, PD, you're taking a look, and everybody from the leaders coming down for what could very well be the final stops of the season.
And right now, number 4 machine was the leader on pit road. He's coming down, Josh Cotton. We're going to look to see how his pit stop goes here. The number 4, I mean, they're putting the left sides on that car, and now it's going to feel good with fresh tires now, especially for Chris Cable, who's a lot faster on new tires. Down and away, Josh Cotton is going to, yep, he's going to be the first car off pit road, so give it to Josh Cotton. The only car to stay out was in the boot. And second off pit road is the 05, and third is to Mike King, fourth to Cody Parker, and Evan, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. No luck bandits. I mean, they're going to be defending this hard, and Evan, you would be silly to say that they're not going to make sure one of their 2 championship guys get up there in the lead. Ryan Borges is going to come out 5th, and I'm looking back here, Evan, and it's Brandon Odo is going to come out second to last to AJ Bunch, so Odo's going to have a long way to go. His two title contenders for this championship battle going to be up there leading this race with their teammates around.
And they're going to be fighting for that as well, in the same regard as both Chris Cable, both Cody Parker now find themselves to the top area of this. I still feel like it's in Chris Cable's favor. I feel like he has the best shot at it. He doesn't have the damage that Cody's working with. But if you're smart, and again, you could get into some, tricky situations, I guess you could say, when you get to team orders and whatnot. But you got to think that the 4 car is going to let the 05 by, because he needs those most laps led, and we'll see how that all shakes out. We are behind the pace car, just in front of our leaders. Al Smith Jr. Stays out, plus being able to get the wave by, and he'll actually come down pit road, so he will lose that 1 additional lap, but he'll sit 1 lap down when this all cycles back through. That leaves Jay Dubuque as the only other machine that is not on the lead lap, and that could be a big spot as well, PD. The 96, instead of having 12 of them on the lead lap, we will have 11 where Brandon Odo sits, so that's 1 more spot that the 24 doesn't have to worry about losing right now after damage at the start. And we talked about this when we did our first chase race, the fact that if there was no chase, this 24 car would have won this championship weeks ago. And he had trouble in our first championship race. We talked about how many mulligans can you afford. Well, it has just been downright terrible luck for the majority of these top title contenders. 2 of them getting suspended for taking out other cars and not claiming yellows. Many of them just having bad luck and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. We called that maybe that 24 had lost his chance at a championship before it started. He started off the chase with issues, and right now, at least, closing off the chase with issues. But again, he doesn't need to win this race. He just needs to really get a top 8 or so to be able to defend.
We'll see if he can do that, and really, you're exactly right with that one. I mean, Brandon Odo just needs to keep himself out of trouble here, and the 24 is going to be restarting in dead last in the lead lap 11th, and Chris Cable can get to the lead. That would be Chris Cable with the title, although I don't assume that will happen here, so
we're going to have to see how this one shakes out. There are 11 cars on the lead lap, and this time around, the restart is going to be with with 150 laps on the board, 70 laps to go as we cross over, and our second restart off of a caution flag. 3rd time going to be accelerating off of the pace car in this race. The 4 and the 05 on the front row. Next to them, and rather behind them, Mike King, and then the 41 of Cody Parker. So 2 of the challengers to Brandon Odo, who sits synced back in the dead last place on the lead lap at 11th spot, are nose to tail on the outside in 2nd and in 4th. Right now, the upper hand out of those 2 goes to Cable because he's got bonus points for leading laps. Don't expect Cody Parker to roll over and let him try to run away with this one. Pace car down and away. 4 car is going to be in control. Small hesitation. 05 tried to gas it. Green flag now in the air and back and away from the Iowa Speedway. The Jeff Sears Memorial 150 back under full speed conditions. 4 car clear by about 3 car lengths. Look at the huge run by the 05 down in 1 and 2. Really digging his Chris Cable. Power move. Gets right to the bumper. Made up like 3 cars there.
yeah, he is, and right now battle continuing to rage on for 3rd and 4th. The 41 needs to get around his teammate, the 04 of Mike King. Mike King now on the inside, that's not wanted, and here comes the 41. He's going to try. Cody Parker going to try to get it done up there, that is. And we'll see what he can do, continuing to battle side by side, door to door. These guys going at it right now, and Evan, this is still anyone's really battle right now to win. So it's going to go to Mike King. We're going to see what Cody Parker will do in the upcoming laps. The leaders are still nose to tail, and Evan already, Brandon Odo's up to 7th. So don't be too worried about Odo. He got that car fixed, and he is flat flying right now.
Yeah, significantly the right rear of that iRacing Means Chevrolet Corvette entry is significantly better. He goes to 7th. He's been faster than the likes of Nicholas Rasmussen all night long, who enters this as a dark horse in the championship, 14 points off in the 7-11 Chevrolet. That car is 6th. If Odo's able to get that spot back, that would pretty much lock things up if he's able to maintain that positioning. Cable's not able to do anything with Joshua Cotton as he got to him. Again, really didn't look like he lifted at all when we went through 1 and 2. Made up what was a pretty substantial gap that Joshua had gotten off of that restart. Took that all back by the time we hit corner 2. Slid off a little bit, now tries to close back in. That US Air Force Chevy really needs to get to the top spot. Behind him is Mike King. That's a small buffer back to where the second challenger in this, Cody Parker, sits in 4th.
Yeah, Cody Parker in 4th right now, and you know, he has to get going. He really needs to get in front of his teammate Mike King, and then he has to go battle his other two teammates right now for this lead. And this is just a normal race. We're talking about, wow, what a dominating performance from the No Luck Bandits. They're having all the luck in the world right now, but this isn't just any race. This is the championship race. These guys, I mean, as much as happy as they must be, I'm really surprised they haven't let Cable lead laps, but I do believe that these guys are, you know, noble type of guys. They will go at it, even if it is their teammate racing for championship behind. Much like a Tony Stewart type attitude here with these guys, which is a very good thing to possess here. I don't like when guys just pull over. So we're having fun watching this, and one thing I've noticed is the 24 of Odo is caught right up to the bumper of Nicholas Rasmussen. So that's going to get interesting here in a couple of laps. And Odo's damage free and flying. We'll see what he can do here. Rasmussen now is going to have to battle with him. And up front, Josh Cotton really doing a good job pulling off his teammate here. I'm surprised that this has not happened. I mean, this is really, really shocking me. I thought Chris Cable would be pushing a lot harder right now, trying to get around the 4. With Odo coming, he needs to get the bonus points now, and really now. So we'll see how he does, but yeah, this is going to be really difficult for him.
Oh, trouble for Mike King around on the front straightaway. The 04 car caution flag is out. The Mountain Dew Amp Energy entry just got sideways that quickly. Coming off the corner, he had the 41 close it in. He got sideways, kind of had to step it up the hill to save it. Got sideways again, spun out. Borges nearly gets into the back of him. 32 with a great job checking up. And King kind of spins innocently out into the ball field area there on the front straightaway down by the grass and avoids any further damage. And it kind of remains at a one-car incident, and nobody falls off the lead lap in that one. However, that moves Brandon Odo up to P6 in that 24 car. Exactly what he needed, I guess, that competition caution at halfway. Exactly what the iRacing Memes car needed to get that little bit of damage and then be able to get back out there and be competitive. Leaders back down pit lane. PD never turned down a fresh set of tires, and that's why we see them already coming back down. However, this presents an opportunity for maybe a little bit of tire strategy.
So, I mean, we'll see how it goes for them. I'm watching right now. Well, the 4, Cotton, we gotta see what he does here. Is it 2 or 4? Really, I think it's a 2-tire stop here if you're at him right now, so I don't know what the call will be. His crew chief right now is obviously one of the smarter crew chiefs we see in the Upstate Racing League, so he's putting on the right sides right now. We'll see if they run around to the lefts, and, well, his right sides, he did just do right sides, but his right sides took way longer than everyone else's, and hello, Chris Cable, welcome to the lead, because he's going to get out first, Rasmussen second, Cody Parker 4th, Ryan Borges 3rd, and Brandon Odo is going to be all the way back to 6th.
Exactly what you needed if you're Chris Cable. Cody Parker, 41, with an 11-second stop with those right side tires only, which is the strategy, but because everybody did it, doesn't really shuffle things up too much, except for the fact that the 4-car PD, depending on where you actually stop in your stall, it may help or kind of put a disadvantage on you as far as how quick your stops are. Because he lost all that, the 4 is just going to bring it back in, and I would anticipate that he's just going to be coming down for 4 tires this time, since he'll be going to the back. Alex Smith Jr. going to duck down with him as well. Lights still on the pace car. We're going to step away for a very quick break. Bring you back for the restart. You're watching the championship race for Season 4 of the Upstate Racing League, the Jeff Sears Memorial 150.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're all also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval, and that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself. And they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports.
Back live at the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa, playing host to the season finale race live on LSRTV, as the previous 14 have been. But it is Chase Race 5 of 5 and round 15 of 15 in the Season 4 campaign for the Lake City RC Speedway Pro Late Model Series, along with myself, Evan Pasoko, PDJ Seller up in the broadcast booth, and past halfway in a very fluid and active championship situation. One of the guys that's trying to steal it, he's on the top. The base car dives down to the way, 05 on the accelerator. Green flag flies back racing in Iowa, crossing over. And out now, number 93 is in the works. To the bottom goes Ryan Borges. He'll take second, but Snow, Brandon Odo, nearly in the top 3 spot. He needs to finish at least outside of the top 8 if Cable or the 41 of Parker want to take it. And right now, Odo's in front of the 41 and in a top 5 spot. So right now, the RAC Mains machine really taking a huge bounce back after getting some service at the competition caution. He's looking fast now.
He is looking extremely fast right now. Chris Cable gone in away, and by away I mean away. His biggest issue is Brandon Odo is now going to be racing for third. He looks inside Nicholas Rasmussen, gives him a little bit of a love tap right there, sends Rasmussen up the track. Odo cannot get underneath him. Instead, Cody Parker to the outside to save the day. Here comes the 41. He will not get a good enough run though, and Odo will get a great run off of corner number 4. Not as good as Cody Parker. Cody Parker's going to have to dive down low. No man's land down there, and we'll see what the 41 can do with him. So Brandon Odo way up high, 41 down and clear. He needs to do a block of some sorts, and he will not. So the 24 is just going to kind of try to cross him over here. We'll see how this works, and side-by-side racing great off the restart here, and I'm really curious to see how this position takes out. This is pretty important. So the 41 is going to try to get a run off of corner number 4, and he is almost clear. Not quite yet, though. And if he can get clear, that'll send Odo back to 5th, and still, it's pretty safe for Odo. So we're watching Cody Parker and Brandon Odo battled out right now, Evan, and this is all about the Odo right now. It doesn't matter where the other 2 contenders are because they need to really get up there, but it's more or less about if Odo does poor or not. Even if Chris Cale were to continue on and win a second straight race, it wouldn't mean anything if Odo got a top 5.
And that's what's happening right now. Slow down the front straightaway. The 04 of Mike King, the Mountain Dew entry, got sideways yet again in 3 and 4 and goes all the way back to 11th position. Big revelation in all of this is there are now 12 cars in the lead lap. Al Smith Jr., who started on pole position, had disconnected from the sim, had to join back but lost 2 laps. Got a waiver on the last time by. Almost could have gotten to the lead lap, but he elected to pit. In that last cycle of pit stops, he was the only car 1 lap down. He's back to the lead lap, and he's passing people. So that means that there's 12 spots that Odo could slide back to. But again, right now, if that 24 car just sits in P5, even if Chris Cable wins this race, gets those bonus points, plus the 1 for just leading a lap in general, not going to be able to get the job done. So the 05 is doing his part of the deal. He just needs Odo to go backwards, kind of like the 24 car did, really on the longer end of that first long green flag stretch that was really almost half of the race here. A little bit of a bobble by the 41 allows Odo's to go down to the inside. So the 05 wants this to be green because he wants the 24 to go backwards. However, Chris didn't look that fast on the long run as well. He led PD and then slid off, kind of like the 24 did. So the 05 just needs to hope that somehow the cards fall in his direction.
He really does, and Brandon Odo right now down low just trying to make everything happen. And underneath that 41, I mean, he's doing all he can. So we'll see what he can. How much can he challenge Chris Cable here? And Josh Cotton coming back through the field. He doesn't look as fast as he once was, I will admit, but he's better in the long run, I will say that, so we'll see what he can do here. Right now, Chris Cable, though, consistently the second fastest car on the track. Only car faster than Ryan Borges in the last few laps. I mean, Ryan Borges is starting to look a lot like the game of the race where Cable was dominant. Into the outside wall goes Cable, not too hard, though. It was beginning to look a lot like the beginning of the race where Cable led, Borges caught him, and Borges passed him. So we'll see if Borges can do it once again. It's late in the race, 50 laps to go, Evan. How hard does Cable fight off Borges now? He has to do it, right?
Well, we're within now the final 50 laps. The 05 has to ask himself, is this the final stretch? Are we going to see another caution? Because if we do, maybe he can let the 32 go for the sake of not getting dumped for the top spot. But you see, he's really pushing it down to the yellow lane. You don't normally run all the way down there if you're just kind of cruising around, so you know that he is feeling the pressure from that 32 car. Just a tenth of a second separate them the last time by. You can tell he's fearing that pressure, and he's really getting up on the wheel now. He's starting to force himself to drive the car harder. When you do that, you're not as smooth, not as poetic with the wheel, if you may. And that's allowing, if anything, even more for the 32 to close in. They're 0.6 of a second good on third on back. That's 0.6. You got Nicholas Rasmussen and then the 24 of Brandon Otto, who looked like he had a major issue on the start of the race when him and the 41 kind of got into it and made contact. 24 was really damaged on that right rear. Since they've gotten that thing fixed, I guess it really must have helped out something with the right rear tire, because the 24 now to a top 3 spot, and really the top spot's irrelevant if this 24 car keeps looking as fast as he is right now.
And I mean, he needs to slow down. I mean, no, he does not need to. For him, he does not need to slow down. But if we want to see a really cool championship finish, he needs to slow down here. So Odo Nation rejoices because Brandon Odo is about to take over the third position from Nicholas Rasmussen. Rasmussen has about an inch of a bumper left to fight with him. After that, he's done. And yep, he's done. So Brandon Odo now taking over the position. 71 has to check up a little bit, ruins his run, and Brandon Odo now up to third. And it's all for naught right now for Chris Cable. It's all about the W unless Brandon Odo were to have some sort of issue. But when you're as clutch of a driver as Brandon Odo is, you don't just have the everyday guy issues. I mean, something significant is going to have to happen here. He's going to have to get wrecked, or something just huge is going to have to happen here. Battle on for 7th, TJ Graves versus Al Smith Jr. Al Smith looking low. He's going to almost wash up into TJ. He will not, though. Some good racing going on back here. First battle for position going on immediately side by side. And Al Smith, our in-race reporter, unfortunately I haven't got to talk to him tonight yet, but I'm sure we'll get a word in with him here a little bit later. And Al Smith carefully and closely is trying to take over that position, slides up from TJ Graves, and TJ Graves barely got checked up in time for that one.
You got to do what you got to do. We know the 96 is fast, and because of the fact that he started on pole position but dropped back, imagine that if the 96 wins this from 2 laps down on the beginning of the race to be able to fight back. He is moving through the field up to 7th position. So is Brandon Odo. 41 is not, which is the second of the challengers. Chris and Cody in the 05 to 41 are the cars that need to make up 12 points in tonight's race. Nicholas Rasmussen right there as well, if anything, is only 1 point behind Cody Parker in the championship, which could shuffle up P3 depending on how this finished, because Rasmussen entered 14 back when Cody and Chris were 12 off at the top spot that Brandon Odo sits in control of. And now that he's only a second off the top spot and looks pretty well in control, that 24's got to be liking where this race is going right now, and he may just want this one to go green for the next 41 laps, since it's 41 to go that time by. Still, Borges has not been able to do anything to get up to Chris Cable. The 05 still doing, again, his end of the deal, but it's only worth anything if that 24 has some sort of an issue. It was looking like it was going in the favor of the U.S. Air Force Chevy early on, but in the second half of the race, Odo coming up clutch now, sits top 3.
And clutch that is for him. So we're going to watch him, see what he can do here. And Brandon Odo is in cruise control right now. He doesn't need to do anything besides what he currently is doing. That sits P3, and man, what a season for Brandon Odo. All the wins he's had, all the top 5. Remember, he has yet to have a single top 10 that has not resulted in also top 5. So he has 13 starts, 11 top 5s, 11 top 10s. I mean, Brandon Odo is as consistent as it gets, and right now he's looking to make that 12 for 14 in the top 5 category. And he's looking down. I mean, right now, looking at lap times, he is not as fast as the 2 leaders, but he is not that far off either if they were to screw up. So Chris Cable and Ryan Borges out front, much like last week, Evan. We're seeing a Borges versus Cable battle here, but it's almost for nothing here. Ryan Borges, if he can hold on, he will be the rookie champion, and Chris Cable's looking to win 2 straight in the chase, but he's going to come up a little bit short, Evan. It's all for naught, but we still have almost just above 35 laps to go. if Brandon Odo were to have some sort of issue, let's say maybe a tire went down or maybe ran out of gas, something significant happened, we could watch a big swing in this championship take place.
The 24 car lets out a yawn over the radio as he sits P3 right now. He's pretty much a second off of the car in second. Borges, who really hasn't given up on fighting with Chris Cable for the top spot, but the JD Marketing 24 Designs number 32 continues to sit in second position. First battle on track now for P4. This could be a big one depending on how it all shakes out. It is the 41 of Cody Parker, Nicholas Rasmussen. Pretty much you can sum this one to be a battle for third in the championship right now, as Rasmussen, when he was one spot in front of the 41, would still be 1 point off. But the 41 trying to be able to get around Nicholas. He had the spot at the start-finish line and now clear through 1 and 2. The 41 of Cody Parker back up to a top 5 running position as he slots into P4. Right behind that 71, a lot of action. Joshua Cotton and the 96 of Al Smith Jr., who continues to power through this field, fight off of 4.
That's going to go to Josh Cotton in the 4, who once looked like he was going to run away with this race, so good battle and change for position there. And now we look back at these leaders. Right now they're still nose to tail, Ryan Borges and Chris Cable. Borges thirsty for this first win on the Upstate season. He's raced the whole season, only missed a race, and he just wants to bring home that elusive first win of the year. I think he can do it. He's just going to have to plan his move really well here on Chris Cable. Chris Cable, he's just wanting to win another one, and these two guys, two different stories, two different seasons, but looks like they're going to end in the same way, top 5 in points.
The 4 car got way jacked up. Yeah, he went to the inside on the 71, slid up, and the 96 of Al Smith Jr., who was fighting with TJ Graves to relative success, was looking like he was going to put a pass on him. Had to check way up because that 4 car almost at a dead stop pretty much when you're talking about race speed terms. Had to hold up that 96. Cotton's able to get back over. He did apologize, and now right back down to the bottom on Nicholas Rasmussen. He goes to 71, still struggling to find that long run speed as he did in that opening stint. However, very strong on short runs, so we get a late restart in this. The 71 could definitely be a factor, but kind of like we saw in that first run now, starting to slowly fall back. The 4 looks like the 22 of Graves is going to try to follow Cotton through. 71 protects the inside and looks like he'll try to go for a crossover. Not sure how successful that move will be with the car handling as it is. Slides up the hill a little bit, nothing going to be able to come from that one. We do have 12 cars still on the lead lap and bumper to bumper with the 96 and the 22. I'd watch out for Al Smith if I were some of these guys because he's moving still.
He is still moving, and right now these guys going at it last race until October for these Upstate racing guys. So it's all or nothing. If you leave anything on the table, you're going to regret it for months, about 6 months to be exact. So these guys are going for it all at the moment, and you're here live watching the Upstate Racing League with myself and Evan Pisoka in the booth. And Evan, this is LSRTV Championship Week. Tomorrow we'll bring you guys from Super 96 goes up the track. So very exciting week. Stay tuned, and Upstate's about to end right now, and it's going to be exciting. 30 laps to go here from Iowa. Al Smith now takes over the 7th position. Nicholas Rasmussen sliding back, and it's not working out for the 71 right now, but Al Smith takes over that position, looking a little bit forward. Battle for the lead. Ryan Borges to the inside. Can he take it away, Evan?
He's got half a car length to the good. The 05, we've seen this same song and dance before. Borges, he'll have the nose at the start-finish line. Not the first time to 32. He's led a lap in this race. However, this time, Cable is not able to defend. Backs up the corner. Hard charge through 1 and 2. The crossover down the back straightaway comes up about half a car length short, and that may be all she wrote for the 05 because now Cable is just 1 spot in front of Brandon Odo after sliding back to second. The 24 car remains in P3. Now back down to the inside goes the 05, once again side by side. Although the championship, or at least right now, not looking too good if you're part of the Chris Cable camp there. He is looking for what would be his 2nd win on the season, and you know, if it's any consolation, which it's a tough one to swallow in the end, best you can do is walk away with the checkered flag and say everything that you could have done, you did. That's what he's still fighting for, but I feel like Borges may be a little bit stronger right now as we close in on the final 30.
Borges looking to cap off his rookie season in a big way. He's leading the rookie championship points. He had to battle Cody Parker for it, and right now He is leading this race, coming up to 25 laps to go, and Ryan Borges looking to get his first ever Upstate racing win. He's been so fast this season, so many second-place finishes this year. It would be so great to see that young driver get his first win in this great racing series. I know he's won other races here on LSRTV. This would be his first Upstate win, though, and I know it would mean a great deal to Ryan Borges, so we'll see if he can get it done here as he leads in the late stages of this race. Hasn't been in a position to win one of these things, really. I mean, he's sat second a whole lot, but never been leading one. We'll see how he handles the pressure here. And right now, the fastest car on the racetrack the last few laps has been Ryan Borges by about 10th. Next fastest car is Brandon Odo, and he's a little bit over a 10th slower than Ryan Borges right now. So Ryan Borges is flying around the speedway. And Evan, I think I spoke too soon because I was looking through the field. I didn't even think to look back to Al Smith. Al Smith actually is the fastest car on the track by far lately. He is flying as he takes the 6th position away from TJ Graves. Al Smith, I don't think he has enough time to make up 4 seconds, but man, he is flying right now. What a fast car they have under him tonight.
And it's going to be a question of what ifs. We talked about for guys in the championship. You don't want to leave here and sit on 6 months what if. Well, Al Smith Jr. looking for a checkered flag, which would be his first on the year. And by the way, right now trying to find his first top 5 all season with a very strong car. Started on pole. If he didn't have those connection issues, you have to think, could the 96 have won and gotten his first victory in the final race on the season 4 campaign? If you like Iowa, again, good news for him because the first race of season number 5 coming up in October is right here at this very racetrack, and the New Smyrna will be taking over the role as playing host to the championship race for the 2015 fall and the spring 2016 campaign for the Upstate Racing League. An interesting thing about this league compared to some of the other ones, PD, is a lot of the short track leagues run the super late models. These are just the good old iRacing Classic late models. We was talking with some of the league organizers. They are going to review the situation as far as which of the cars are going to be running, but for the most part, they feel like they're going to be sticking with these late models, which is cool to see compared to some of the, really the majority of the leagues, I guess, that are running the newer, we'll call them SLMs, but you got to love some classic, just straight up late model racing, and that's what these guys bring out to the track each week.
Yeah, right now Ryan Borges just put his sunglasses on and just kind of laid back a little bit in the steering wheel. I'm sorry, he had to lift up his visor to put his sunglasses on because he is cruising away right now, and man, he is flying. He doesn't even have to try right now. He's put that thing in cruise control. Ryan Borges is fastest car on the track, lap in, lap out, with the exception of Al Smith, except now Al Smith is a little bit slower than him, so man, Ryan Borges, what a run for him. He can bring home this victory. What a win for that young man. And after this race, he'll get to talk to the top 3 and the champion here if he does, for some reason, were to lose a position here in the late stages. So I'm just very, very impressed, Evan, with the job we've seen a lot of these guys do tonight. I think we've only seen 3 cautions, one of them a competition caution, 1 on lap 1. It's been a mean green, clean race. We saw an exciting championship battle, and with 20 laps to go, a rookie is leading, looking to take home his first ever victory in the series. Ryan Borges, you got to talk about that young man being, you know, he's only about 16, and he's just been a force on iRacing. You know the 7, you've watched him race. He's done so many great things in his career so far, and I think in a few years he'll be a big name on iRacing as he's continuing his pro efforts, but he still makes time to run all these leagues that we see him run. I think he runs just about every league we have in LSR, so Ryan Borges now, as he comes to 20 to go, he's making a big name for himself on iRacing, and that kid's going somewhere as he's trying to get his first win in this league.
And right now sits with a second to the good. That was another storyline entering this one when we talked about the championship as well as the battle for the NHR Rookie of the Year. That's Ryan Borges' lead by 4 points over Cody Parker, the 41, who is as well in the championship picture. May fall short of that, and it looks like Borges, as long as nothing major happens there as well, will be able to walk away with that, which is sponsored by the NHR Racing Team, which, by the way, for information on them, check them out at nhr-racing.dk/English, a very deep-rooted sim racing team that goes back to the mid-90s and joined iRacing on 08, doing karting over in Denmark. Very cool. If you want to read more on them, check them out on that website link. But now down to what's going to be 16 laps to go. This time by in the Jeff Sears Memorial 150. This race, when we was voted on and came to Iowa, shortened it, so it wasn't 250 laps as it probably would have been if we went to Sobo or New Smyrna, because those tracks are significantly smaller than this, PD. But this race and their season finale race is a lot behind them. For those that don't know, Jeff Sears was the owner of the Fast Tracks RC Speedway in Plattsburgh, New York. A lot of the sponsors for this series are in that part of the country. He was the New York State Carpet Oval champ in 1993 and passed away in 95 at the age of 40, with a huge influence on many of the RC racers in the Northeast, and this race was started in his honor, therefore dubbing tonight the Jeff Sears Memorial 150, and they're sure putting on a show for it, 11 of them. Still on the lead lap, but a change for P3. Pete looks like Cotton's been able to get around Odo. Maybe a little bit too late, though, for Chris Cable.
Yeah, Josh Cotton right now, about 10th faster than everyone on the racetrack these last few laps. Even having to make a pass, he's still just as fast as Borges. And Josh Cotton is flying. It's 2 guys 3 seconds back, or else I think he would win this thing. But Josh Cotton will continue to fly. So Brandon Odo losing a spot here, and that just shakes up the order a little bit. And we'll see what Josh Cotton can do moving forward. Maybe he'll get to Chris Cable. I guess we'll see. But the 24 Odo goes way up the racetrack, almost into the outside wall.
Don't wreck it.
Yeah, he needs to not wreck it, although there's only 12 cars left on the racetrack right now, so if he were to wreck it, if Cable didn't win, I think he's still safe. But, you know, better safe than sorry. I have no reason to take any unnecessary risks, such as what I just said.
Yeah, if he wrecks or goes back to 11th or 12th, and Cable sits second with the bonus points, which this is going to be real close as well, with Borges dominating the second half of this. If Borges or Cable is going to walk away with the most laps led as well. Now, if they run where they do now with Odo in 4th, that's irrelevant, but if the 24 slides back, this could be huge, really, because the way the 32 with the 05 have kind of swapped it out, they're really coming down neck to neck for that as well.
And I'm looking at him right now, and Ryan Borges, as he is coming around this time by to just 11 laps to go in the Upstate racing season. We talk about leaving it all on the line right now. Ryan Borges, he's leaving it all out there right now. He knows he won't have another chance. Caution now! This changes everything.
AJ Bunch, trouble for the number 23 car, as trouble on the racetrack brings out the caution flag with about 11 laps to go. 23, this is something that we saw happen earlier on in the race. I believe it may, I'm forgetting the number that I saw, Peter, but we saw multiple cars at least 2 times tonight have had a self-spin in the corner, because when the handling goes away on these cars, they really try to give it a little bit extra, and they throw it way down there to the yellow line. 23 cut that a little bit too close. They got sideways. Caution flag is out, and this is going to be a restart that could very well change the championship picture. Meanwhile, Mike King now officially out of the race at that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who pits, who stays out. Ryan Borges, he's a strategic guy. I say he stays out. Evan, I don't see any way that 32 comes down pit road, although, as I say that, he'll probably come down. Nope. The 05 will, though. That's a championship deciding move. Everyone going to come down except TJ Graves and Ryan Borges there, and Brian Rogers Jr. There's going to be about 3-car buffer between the leaders here, Evan, so this is going to be huge. We'll see what happens, and man, I can't believe it, although some people I know are going to think that possibly that was an intentional spin to make the race more interesting, but Evan, it's our championship leader Brandon Odo's teammate, and Odo had the championship locked up. I don't see any way why that would be an intentional spin unless he was just wanting to hurt his teammate. Maybe there was an argument down there in iRacing Memes team.
Yeah, it was a very strange incident with the 23 getting on the apron and not really trying to save the car till he lost it, but again, when we talk about the possibility of team orders, we talked about it when there were teammates 1 and 2, and it was the 05 that needed to be able to get to the top spot. We talked about the possibility of that. It just would not make sense, so I definitely don't anticipate that being the case. That machine that went around there that had those issues, AJ Bunch, was really strong in the opening portions of this race, kind of led laps in the iRacing Memes Ford Fusion. I have to give him a shout out for having the Snow Cone Nation on the back of that car. He had a good run, but he had trouble, kind of faded out as the longer runs went on, PD. This is going to give us, I think it'll fall right about to the point where if we wreck right away, we may get another restart, but this could very well be the restart that determines how this is all going to shake out. And as we get the updated standings, Borges, Graves, Brian Rogers, Joshua Cotton, Brandon Odo, Chris Cable, 11th with the tire call.
And we're looking at these guys, and I'm not 100% sure what's going to go down here. I know TJ Graves is going to... the top 3, I think with the exception of Borges, they're banking on a caution right now. They want a caution to come out immediately. Josh Cotton's in a prime position to win this thing, and Evan, Odo got out of pit road in front of his way in front of his 2 contenders for this championship here. Honestly, unless Odo is the caution that comes out, I think it's basically his now. This pit stop really changed everything. The only thing that might happen is we might see Ryan Borges not get his first career win. And Evan, I feel pretty bad for Ryan Borges. He had this thing all locked up. He was probably so giddy and happy, and now a late race caution comes up to rain on his parade, and he's going to have to work extra hard to win this.
Yeah, elbows up. Time to get back at it. Lights do remain on the pace car. Want to see if we can get a very quick word with our in-race reporter. We haven't been able to talk to him all race long. Al Smith, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, you've had a very interesting night. We haven't really had the opportunity to cue you up on the radio for being our in-race reporter, but what happened there on the very start of the race that put that 96 2 laps down, and what has it been like fighting back and then passing cars once you got back to the lead lap?
Honestly, I don't know what happened. I was going through just checking out all the settings, make sure I had all my pit stop settings set before the halfway caution there. I know and it kicked me out. I don't know if I held that floor down too long or whatnot, but came back 2 laps down, and it's been a fight. And here we are, P6. We're gonna go after this win here tonight.
There's a couple of guys in front of you with rather no tires, and the 96 has been fast. Do you think, well, we know you're going to go for it, but do you think the 96 has a shot at getting that first win on the season here?
I think so. I mean, the guys worked real hard tonight. They get this car back in contention. It's just going to be quite busy to get past these. The top 3 don't have tires, and Cotton and Odo, I believe, took 2. So, but we're on the outside, and the gas pedal ain't going to come off until we get to turn 3.
10-4, we're going to let you get back to the team radio here. I'm sure we'll talk to you post-race, but good luck on this last lap dash here with these about 5 to go.
Thanks, guys. Have a good, this is going to be fun.
That is our in-race reporter. First time being able to cue him up. The driver of the 96 who started on pole position, went 2 laps down, and now may win this one. It's been since October since we started this one, and now we're going to finish it off. Possibly the final restart for the season for a championship, a checkered flag, all hang in the balance. And we're glad to have you with us on LSRTV. This could get wild. Pace car down to the way. Borges seeks his first checkered flag in the Upstate Racing League. Green flag flies as he's the control car. Here's off. Look at Brandon Odo. 3 wide down to the bottom. All he needs to do is not wreck, but he's on the attack. Contact. TJ Graves, the 22, sideways.
Caution, race over.
Caution flag is out. Al Smith Jr. is in it, and Brandon Odo, as he cycles at a 2 and slots into second, barring no more restart, is going to be the Season 4 champion.
Ryan
However,
Borges.
if we don't pit, Petey, we may get a 1-lap shootout. It is 4 to go. It depends how quickly that they cycle through this. It's going to be right there. It depends on how many wave rounds and or pit stops happen. The replay goes up now.
This race is over. The reason it is over is because Jay Dubuque, if Jay Dubuque was on the lead lap or if he was out of the race, this race probably would get a restart, but the issue is, since he's a lap down, they have to leave pit road open extra lap for the lap down cars to come down. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing a restart here. It happens so often, and I mean, I'm 99.9% sure that's what's going to happen here, so we'll just keep our eyes out, but I do believe it's over. And if it is, Ryan Borges gets it done with a gutsy call, and Brian Rogers Jr., after the most, he ran every race, and the struggle was real for him, Evan, but he's finally going to get a top 3 after so much fighting all year long, although I do think he might have caused that caution now that I think about it. But still, Brian Rogers Jr., you, in my heart, you did it, even though TJ Graves is upset with you.
Yeah, that was contact that sent those guys around. We were talking with our in-race reporter. Al Smith was collected in that one as the car was sideways in the middle of the track. You see the wave around right there goes to the Jay Dubuque entry. He is on lap 146. Leaders are on lap 148. So it's going to be 2 to go this time by. The lights would need to be extinguished at this point already. If we were to be able to get any sort of a restart, they'd have to go off this time by the start-finish line. It does not appear that any of the drivers are talking like we are going to see a restart, and we'll confirm this as we cross the start-finish line. And if the lights do remain on the pace car, this race will take a yellow and a checkered simultaneously. Ryan Borges across the start-finish line. Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 to go. Lights are on, and you just got to go about a mile and change. Don't wreck it under yellow. Borges will take a checkered flag, and Oda will get a first championship.
Yeah, so we'll talk to the top 3, and I'm sure a couple more too, so we'll bring you back to some interviews, but we got to finish up these last 2 laps, and talking about the season of Brandon Odo. He's going to have 12 for 14 top 5, other performance for him. But, I'm not going to take the spotlight off of Ryan Borges either. He got it done. He fought so hard all year. Ryan Borges, does it in the final race. It took him the whole season, but he finally did it. Ryan Borges is a race winner here at the Upstate Racing League. And that 32 team, I'm sure the boys back at the JD marketing shop are just thrilled right now. It's a shame their second car, TJ Graves, was involved in that late race incident. But Ryan Borges now, all he has to do is survive a couple more laps, and he's a winner in this league. Actually, one lap to be exact in that beautiful blue Camaro. So white flag and yellow flag in the air, and Ryan Borges simply has to survive 0.8 miles, and he's an Upstate race winner. And more importantly, Brandon Odo has to survive 0.8 miles, and for the first time in the history of this fairly old league, someone not named Justin Fuller is going to bring home the title.
We'll talk some numbers as we work under the last lap of this Season 4 campaign that has been a blast to bring you on LSRTV. There are 11 cars that are on the lead lap. With this checkered flag, Ryan Borges is going to lock up his first career win, and he will walk away with the NHR Racing Rookie of the Year award, the 24 car. Fastest car all year long, possibly. A lot of the drivers said that, again, if there was no chase, he would have won this championship 2-3 weeks ago. He had to fight through it. The pit strategy calls don't quite come to fruition. Chris Cable, a challenger, comes home 7th. More challengers in the field. The 41 of Cody Parker comes home 10th. But at a quarter 4 for the final time, championship race, the Jeff Sears Memorial 150 goes to Ryan Borges, and your Season 4 champion for the Upstate Racing League Lake City RC Speedway Pro Late Model Series, the 24 of Brandon Odo.
Great championship for him, and we'll see a couple of burnouts here, Evan. Can't wait to talk to the top 3 champion and so much more here. Stay tuned, Evan. This is going to be exciting. I'm sure we're going to hear a very emotional 2 drivers, the 2 guys who brought home the big prizes tonight.
I think this is going to be one of those cool opportunities to get the cameras out, because we may see 2 sets of donuts on the front straightaway. What the fans want to know is Brandon Odo going to do the signature slide burnout through the corner? He gets that one going in 4, just as I mentioned that. And don't crack the back of the car so you pass post-race inspection. They both burn it down as they should. A winner and a first-time champion on the front straightaway. Borges takes home the checkered flag, and Brandon Odo becomes the first driver that you said is not named Justin Fuller that walks away with a championship in this Upstate Racing League. We will go to commercial for the final time. Please stay tuned as the post-race show, championship presentation, and much more is coming up. You're watching Live Sim Racing TV and coverage of the Upstate Racing League. Post-race from Iowa up next.
in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it at a 4, who's going to be at the stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval, and that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself, and they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports. This was one of the more challenging projects that we've undertaken. It was essentially building two tracks in one. It took a lot of time and a lot of care was put into it, but we're really happy about the end result, and we think that people have a lot of fun driving it.
Back live at the Iowa Speedway, where Season 4 racing has come to a close, and at the checkered and yellow flag, your winner tonight is the driver of the 32 in Ryan Borges. He walks away with not only the NHR Racing Rookie of the Year award, but as well with his first checkered flag on the season. And we're going to get things kicked off down in the permanent victory lane down there on the infield. PDJ Zella, you've caught up with Ryan Borges, who wins tonight at the Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, I'm down here in Victory Lane, and it's really lonely. Everyone's down at the championship stage, but I'm chilling here with Ryan Borges next to his car. And Ryan, you're the NR Rookie of the Year, man. You're Rookie of the Year. That's a big deal. And you got your first win of the season. Take me through your emotions right now, man.
It was a roller coaster, to be honest. I thought I lost it with 10 laps to go there. I knew I wasn't gonna make the smartest pit choice, and I didn't. I stayed out with only 2 other cars. So I thought I was at least going to lose 3, 4, 5 spots there, and I was like, here we go again. But luckily, we got a caution right off the restart there, which saved me. But this whole race, it was a blast run here. I know a lot of people probably thought it was kind of boring, like mid-pack and back. Everyone got spread out, but I was having a blast going for the lead with Cable and Cotton and AJ at points. It was really fun, just side by side trying to get the run off the turns, and I loved it. So. It was awesome. It's awesome to win, finally.
Ryan, you're Borges. I almost said, Ryan, you're a Borges. Well, that was probably a true statement, but Ryan, you came in halfway through the year. You missed the first race, and you've been here ever since, and you've just been so consistent. Ryan, not only are you Rookie of the Year, not only did you win tonight, but you finished second into the points to Brandon Odo, man. So, what's your goals? I know it's 6 months away, and it's not for a long time, but what are your goals heading into next season? Think about it, Borges. For 6 months, everyone sits in their hallway thinking what could have been tonight. With the exception of Odo, you're the only one that says, you know what, I put it all on the table and I brought home glory tonight.
Well, my goal is the same as pretty much whenever I run. It's to win, and hopefully I'll have, I guess, a better shot at that next season in the chase. The first couple of chase races here just killed any shot I had at that. I thought coming into the chase I was going to have a real shot at it, but those first couple races, just a bunch of unfortunate things happened. I've been playing catch up the final 3 or 4 races, but I've done a pretty good job of it. I got all the way up to second here, which I'm kind of surprised of because I didn't think I ran that great. I ran pretty good this race, but Stafford I kind of screwed up there, and I couldn't even tell you what the race before that was, but I don't think I ran that well. But it was a good season overall. I just feel like it took me 4 or 5 tries of shoulda, coulda, wouldas to finally win one of these, and I almost had another one of these, but finally got one.
Well, Ryan, I gotta ask more questions then to the interviews. Ryan, we've seen you and Chris Cable battle so close this whole season. It doesn't matter where it is on the racetrack. It appears as though you and Cable together, whether it's racing for wins or if it's racing for 17th. Do we see a possible rivalry forming between the 32 and 05 here in the future?
You never know, but I feel like Cable's a great racer, and I don't think I've ever had a problem with him, so not at the moment, but I feel like if we're gonna continue to race as close as we are, something might happen, but for now we're buddies, I guess, in the sense that we race each other clean and we're really competitive, so nothing yet.
Friendly rivals Ryan Borges, and sorry for interrupting you. Before I let you go, who do you gotta thank? Who makes it happen for you in the number 32 crew?
Oh, I gotta thank Brandon Wilkinson, TJ Graves, Two Flag Motorsports for helping me in other leagues, short track leagues. I gotta thank TJ for coming in here and racing this race. He helped me out with some strategy there. I guess staying out there at the end helped, but as much as I heard him, that last caution helped me a lot. Otherwise, I would have lost that. But I gotta thank JD Marketing 24 Designs for being on the car. Help me out trying to find me sponsors for real life, which is ultimately what my goal is. I also got to thank you guys for broadcasting this. It's awesome to go back and watch these. They're put together so nicely. So I just got to thank everyone for watching, and also check me out. If you're not friends with me on Facebook or like my Facebook page, check that out, because there's going to be a short track event that I'm probably going to be putting on soon, just because there's not a lot of short track racing on iRacing. So that's it. Thanks for interviewing me.
That's winner tonight, Ryan Borges, and meanwhile down in Championship Lane, the champagne is flying, and so is Brandon Odo, and there's a whole big party down there. I'm going to run down there while you talk to Brandon.
They've pulled out the championship stage in this one, and it was a long-fought season to get the job done. To officially present the driver of the 24 with the Season 4 champion, I'll turn over the mic to League Administrator Al Smith Jr.
Thank you, Evan, and thank everybody for watching tonight. And Brandon, last few seasons we've watched you grown. Definitely was a threat. Fuller was worried about you coming into this season. We've had a lot of adversity. You've had a lot of ups and downs this season. But on behalf of all the staff here at the Upstate Racing League and our title sponsor, the Lake City RC Speedway, we present you with a 2014-2015 Super Late Model Championship. Congratulations.
Thanks, Al. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure racing with you guys for the past 3 seasons now, and it's definitely been one of the best leagues I've ever raced in. And honestly, it's been a real pleasure to be a part of this whole picture of Upstate racing.
We're going to sneak in with the microphones now real quick, Brandon. Assuming that Corvette nose passes inspection at the end of it all, it was a very emotional night for you, I guess. Things were kind of all over the place. There was a point where the 05 was leading, and you were back kind of 10th and 11th position, and in the competition caution halfway, you were able to get that damage that you sustained really early on in this race. You got that fixed up, got back out there, and it was pretty much a second race from there on out. The 24 car flying through to get to a second position, and only gained points really on the guys that we thought were going to be the ones that would challenge you for this championship. But there were points you didn't have it, there were times that you did, and you end up on the top of the pile. Walk us through the entire night and kind of the roller coaster you went through.
What a roller coaster it was, that's for sure. Yeah, the first lap, we ended up getting hooked in the right rear. We were facing up on the backstretch wall, so we had to save the car there. And after that, I mean, it was just about survival. We had quite a bit of damage on the right side of the car, and that really affected the handling. We got on the wall a couple times after that due to the push from the tires, and the fall off wasn't that bad on the tires, but about 50 laps in or so, I mean, they would really start to fall off. So after the competition caution, we had all that damage fixed. It, like you said, it was really just like another whole race. So we ended up flying through the field, picking them off one by one, racing some real good racing out there, really clean racing, real good competitive racing with all these guys. We got Cody Parker, Nicholas Rasmussen, Anthony Bunch, Chris Cable, all these guys. Ryan Borges especially. Ryan Borges, what a night he had, and really glad that he was able to get his first win of the season tonight too. Yeah, and it led us to that final restart, and I saw the 12 take the middle lane on that front stretch restart. So I figured I had to go for it down low, and we ended up moving from 5th to 2nd in about a quarter of a lap. So that's how we ended up in 2nd. But I'm real proud of this iRacing Memes team tonight, and we overcame quite a bit, that's for sure.
It was a long season that started back in October with the fall tune-up at Rockingham all the way through to this season finale. You talked about how you didn't like this track, quote-unquote, and you were a strong car in practice. It seemed like, if anything, that was keeping you slow was the fact that you had damage. Once that car got fixed, you really had a lot of speed. And we've talked to you 3 times in Victory Lane, the most out of any other drivers, walking away with 3 checkered flags, but 12 top 5s. And 12 top 10s. So when you were up there, you were up there. The only reason you weren't in the top 5 was if you got wrecked out of a race. So it showed that you had so much consistency. And one of the things that I remember when we went into this championship, we talked about how many mistakes that you can or cannot have. You had trouble in that opening chase race, fought back through it. And I guess tonight was almost kind of a correlation of your entire season altogether. Started off strong, a little bit of a rocky area there, but you came back to it. The 24 was just strong all year long. What do you attribute that to?
Honestly, it's a lot of it is confidence, and I know in the past I've been kind of weary just running with these guys because they're so competitive. I don't want to go out there and ruin someone else's race. And I think honestly the past couple seasons that I've been running with these guys, I've just gained a lot of experience, and I've gone out there with a lot of confidence this season, and I owe all my finishes to that. And like you said, it was just a lot of really consistent finishes. I think I just played a smart race most of the time, hanging out in the back when I had to hang out in the back and pushing when I had to push. And I think that's how we ended up where we were at. And it's a great feeling to know when everything kind of comes together like that, and everything just fell into the championship how we're looking at it right now.
In the 3 seasons that this league has run, the Lake City RC Speedway Pro Late Model Series, there has only been one champion, and that is Justin Fuller. Both he and Justin Brooks were some of your biggest competition this year. Keeping your nose clean may be one of the biggest things that you could have done all year, because out of everybody that ended up finishing in the top 4 in the points, you had the least amount of incidents. They ended up with race suspensions that evidently took them out of this fight, that allowed you to be able to maybe get a little bit more of a cushion over some of the other guys, because nonetheless, the 24 car, pretty much the fastest car we had seen all season long. But knowing that you went toe-to-toe with Fuller, went toe-to-toe with Brooks all year long, and pulled out more wins than them, and in the end taking home the championship, what does it mean that you can now call yourself an Upstate Racing League champion?
Oh, it's certainly weird, that's for sure. I never, especially starting this league, I never thought of myself as the champion to go run up there with guys like Justin Brooks and Justin Fuller. I mean, these guys are some of the greatest racers in all of iRacing, and everybody that races the official races knows just how good these guys are, just week in and week out. They're always up at the top of the boards, and I mean, I never really thought of myself to be able to contend with these guys, but it really is a great feeling to look back and say, I guess I can contend with these guys, and hopefully I can keep it up. Maybe next season we'll go out and get another one.
Well, you gave the fans what they wanted, and that was the signature drift-styled burnout there down in 4. You and Ryan burned it down after he took away the checkered flag and as well the Rookie of the Year award. But you're the champion. You know, or at least we know, that you make these shows possible by putting on the exciting racing that allows us to be able to come out here and have a good time at the racetrack week in and week out, dicing it up at the front of the pack pretty much every single week. And it's been fun watching you in that 24 car throughout the year. But now is your chance for the final time until we come back to Iowa later on this year in August at this same racetrack for the kickoff of Season 5. It's quite a ways away, but everybody who made this season and who made this championship possible for that 24 iRacingMemes.com machine.
Well, I mean, there's so many people that go into this. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my teammate Anthony Bunch, who this whole year we've been working together and just finding the best lines to run at these tracks, working in practices, just really finding the best way to drive these tracks. And I really owe a lot of my success to him. And I'd also like to thank, iRacing Memes Facebook page. If you haven't gone and liked that, it's facebook.com/IRMEMES. And I'd also like to thank Pole Position Raceway. We had them come on for this race as well. Alpine Stars, Corvette, obviously, for the engine. I'd also like to thank just these sponsors that make these races possible. Checkpoint Graphics, Perry Heating and Cooling, Hanson Starter Shop, KR Construction, 9HR Racing Team, MP Roy, Hag TV, PTR, Smith Media Productions, Rent-A-Wreck, BRM, Lake RC City Speedway, and of course iRacing. Just everybody that made this possible this year. I mean, this is the best season that we've ever had, and we'd like to thank the sponsors who made it possible. Also like to thank Al Smith for just putting up with all our crazy racing and madness throughout the whole year. He does a really great job running this league. I'm really proud to be a part of this league. Also got to thank you guys up in the booth for putting on a great broadcast week in and week out. Nothing but excellence, guys, and I'm proud to be able to run these races with you guys calling them. And I also like to thank the fans out there watching. I got my dad watching, my grandparents, Kenny, Hana, Noodles, everybody that came out and watched tonight. I'm really hoping we put on a good show for you all season long, and I'm hoping that maybe next year we'll go out and do it again.
You entered this as a challenger, trying to become the only driver without the last name Fuller to get the championship. You did that, and we'll see later on in this 2015 year when the next season kicks off and we go in that season to 2016, you'll be on the defensive and you'll be a title defender trying to represent and go back-to-back. Thanks for talking with us, Brandon. You go celebrate. Again, congratulations, and we hope to see you guys in that 24 car up front the next time we see you on track.
Thanks, guys. I gotta go catch my plane to Disneyland.
Sounds like a plan. That is your Upstate Racing League Season 4 champion, as he ends at the top of the pile by what is going to be 11 points over the driver we talked to just prior and race winner tonight, Ryan Borges, who walks away with a second in the championship. Now down on pit lane, caught up with a car that comes home third overall in the championship standings, and driver of the 05. There were points in this race, PD, where he looked like he was going to walk away with the title. You're down, and you've caught up with the third place in the points, the 05.
Yeah, I've caught up with Chris Cable, and Chris, what a night it's been for you, and man, you dominated the early portions of this race. Your teammate Cotton was a lot faster than you at one point, and they got away from you. It seems as though you had a better short-run car, man, but then you came back at the end. It looks as though you gave it a shot, and you're running second, and that caution came out, and really, it just messed everything up for you, man. I mean, there was a point when you had a chance to steal his title, but Odo got his damage fixed. What was going through your mind this whole time, knowing that it was really up to you to dethrone Odo?
Well, don't forget about Cody Parker, because we were tied for second coming into this race here. But yeah, we had a great car those first 40 laps of the run or so. We did really good, but our fall off for the right front was much greater than Josh and Ryan. They did a great job of saving the tires, and gosh, Josh had a horrible pit stop. I honestly believe he could have won that race. But whenever that caution came out, what didn't go, I was actually kind of excited because I was thinking, go in there, get fresh tires, and whatnot. Ryan stayed out, so I was thinking, it was a perfect chance to pounce on them and use my short run car that I got. But no, we got a speeding in pit road actually, and that threw everything off, like you said.
Yeah, man, and looking forward, though, I mean, it was a good season for you. You came on really strong at the end of the chase. For a little while, it looked like you might win 2 straight. What are your goals heading into next season? Obviously, there's a long off-season, but what are you going to do during this off-season? Maybe let the fans know, and just really what are you doing to prepare yourself, and do you think you can win the title next time around?
Well, yeah, we definitely had a strong second half of the season here. It seemed like we finally got our luck turned around here, so that actually gives us some good momentum going into this next season here. Granted, yes, it's a long ways away, but we're going to be myself and everybody at No Look Bandits, Cody Parker and Josh Kahn, we're going to be prepping for this next season here. Not just in the late models, but we're going to be driving all the cars on iRacing and whatnot. Myself and Josh are actually running in the NASCAR iRacing Series race. If nobody knows what that's about, check it out on iRacing. It's the Class A cars running the full Cup schedule. We'll be competing week in, week out. So we may not be racing late models the whole time, but we'll definitely be prepping.
All right, man, I'm certainly excited. And before I let you go, who makes happen for the 05 team?
Yeah, I want to thank our team, No Look Bandits, Josh, Mike, Cody, Can-Am Racing Series, Upstate Racing League, you guys here at LSRTV, U.S. Air Force for the paycheck, and just everybody who watches this. I hope y'all enjoyed this race and this whole season. It's been fun.
All right, well, thank you, Chris, for joining me, and good luck next season and enjoy the off season.
Copy that. Thanks.
And meanwhile, a little further.
Now I'm caught up down on the pit lane with the driver that comes home 4th overall in the Driver Championship standing. 6th on the racetrack tonight, Nicholas Rasmussen. You got a copy?
Yeah, copy.
So we called you our dark horse entering this race, and pretty much like everybody else that wanted to fight with Brandon Otto, it was a long shot. And when it's all said and done, you walk away with what's going to be a top 5 in the championship standings with a 4th place total in that final tally. Rack it up the 2nd highest out of any other drivers all season long with 11 top 10s on the campaign. First off, congratulations to being a top 5 car in the points. How would you assess the performance by you in that 7-Eleven Chevrolet all season long, and then especially tonight coming just shy of a top 5?
I think we have been consistent all year, and we've gained a lot from that. Tonight's race was pretty decent, but at the final caution, I missed my pit stall, and I kind of missed the opportunity to come up higher tonight. But it is how it is. I'm truly proud of my team here, being a child racing team, for finishing in 4th position here. It's a lot higher than we expected. Since I'm from Scandinavia, I have limited practice time to practice with all the other guys. So for me, it's really a huge achievement, and I just would like to thank Al Smith Jr. for putting this league together. He's been doing an amazing job all year, and I'm truly proud to be able to race here. It's just been great competition all year, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, thanks for taking a moment to talk with us, Nicholas. Again, congratulations on those 11 top 10, second most to anybody besides our champion. A good run tonight as well, and we wish you the best in future endeavors. We hope to see that 71 car out on track soon.
You definitely will, and thank you for putting on great broadcast. I'm going to be looking forward to watching it.
We thank you for the kind words, and we thank you for, again, taking a moment to talk with us and put it on the show like all of these drivers do, Petey. And whenever you start off a season, you know that there's a point where the season has to come to a close, and that's pretty much just about now after 16 races, 15 points-paying events, 5 of which were a chase for the championship. We've talked to the champions. We've talked to pretty much everybody in the top 5 in the championship standings as well. Rounding out the top 5 in the championship standings is Cody Parker. But I'll send it back up to you for the full field rundown in the Jeff Sears Memorial 150.
Evan in first tonight was Ryan Borges, 2nd to Brandon Otto, 3rd to Brian Rogers Jr., 4th Josh Cotton, 5th Al Smith Jr., 6th Nicholas Rasmussen, 7th Chris Cable, 8th to Danny DeBuke, 9th to AJ Bunch, 10th to Chalmers Parker, and I think you got the rest of them.
And then you had TJ Graves, who was the last yellow on that as that car got turned around, as some other people did as well. He comes home as the final car in the lead lap, but almost the summary of his season as well, with a lot of tough luck. 1 lap down, Jay DeBuke in this one, the 66, and the Monte Carlo SS was just not quite up to speed as he would have liked. Mike King comes home behind the wall in 13th, 14th to Andre Badeau, and you got Cody Myers in 15th, rounding out our 16-car field was the driver of the 79 car, Kevin Baker. And we just heard him up on the championship stage, but now we'll try to talk to him down on pit road with the driver of the 96, South Smith Jr. Al, you were our in-race reporter coming into this. We only got to talk to you once. You were going to go for that checkered flag. Things really didn't work out. I guess first thing we should ask you is, what was that last restart like, and what did you see go down in turn 1 that ended this race?
It's just we went, and I got behind Cotton there, and I got in the back of him, pushed him down towards turn 1, and he went to go low, so I went to the high side. And at the same time, the 12 and the 22 made contact. We haven't got to really look at it yet, so but they made contact, and the TJ Graves, just happened to be sitting sideways in front of us. But I think we would have at least got 1 or 2 cars off on the outside on that last restart. But what an interesting race we had in the Upstate Racing Ford Fusion.
You walk away at the end of it all despite the contact with a top 5, which marks your first top 5 on the year. A race that it looked like you could have been in victory lane for, but it's one of those sim racing deals, and you had a connection issue, which I call the iRacing equivalency of a mechanical issue. Keeps you out of victory lane, but you do finish on a positive note with that first top 5 and the 5th top 10 on the season. Walking away when it's all said and done, 8th in the championship standings, making the chase. How would you assess how you drove throughout the season?
From start to finish the season, I'd say we've improved a lot, and it's a lot of with the guys in the league. We get in practice servers together and we race around each other and learn different lines and stuff like that. And I had this race here was probably one that I could have won. We won practice last night here at Iowa, and but it just wasn't in the cards tonight, and we drove through the field. I feel like 3 times to get to a top 5 finish, so it was pretty good. But a lot of ups and downs this season, and a couple electrical issues that took us out of contention once the chase started. But it was a good season overall, and we'll plug in away for next season and getting some new cars built.
It sounds like a plan. You were able to present him with the check and the hardware, our season champion for the first time ever. The Season 4 title goes to the driver of the 24, Brandon Otto. Any thoughts on that from your behalf?
Brandon ran a smart season. We had some unfortunate circumstances that, as an admin team and owner of the league, was put in with Justin Brooks and Justin Fuller. So if those 2 guys would have been still in the hunt, who would have known if we would have been given a check to one of those guys on stage tonight instead of Brandon. But no, hats off to Brandon and the iRacing Means racing team over there. They've done a heck of a job this season. Very consistent. Always seems like they're in the top 5, top 10, in contention for a win every week. So glad to see Brandon win it. He'll be a good champion and represent the league very well, I think.
Almost a passing as the torch per se, because he will now be on the defensive end as opposed to being a challenger come the start of Season 5. You talk about how you got to be out there and race, but as well you have to do the admin duties. You have to make the calls and whatnot, and you also get to oversee what happens on and off of the racetrack to some extent. What were your thoughts also on the season? We saw a lot of great venues throughout the year. We saw a wide variety of different winners. Only a handful of guys went to victory lane multiple times, and it was exciting from our end, maybe a little bit stressful on your behalf having to make some of those decisions, but did you like what you saw out of Season 4?
Yes and no. We definitely had our growing pains as a league. This was our biggest season to date, and we had a lot of partners that came on board this season and backing the Upstate Racing League and believing in us but I think overall it was a pretty decent season, I would say, but it just got to the point where people were taken more than given, and way too early in the race being too aggressive, whether it be egos or, trying to get the TV cameras on them or whatnot. I don't know. So, as an admin team, we're going to take this off season, and as we're going through stuff, we're going to figure out, a new system to get everything going and get next season better than ever.
We know that we ask the drivers every time we talk to them, whether it be the top 3 after each week, who makes it happen, and they thank their sponsors and they thank you. And we want to thank you as well for being able to make this possible, giving us the opportunity to be up here in the tower to call these exciting races. But I know that there's a lot of work that you put into it. Who helps you out with making this show possible? Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank, my right-hand man that it seems like is Dan Dubuque. He's our head sales guy, so hopefully we get a few retainer sponsors coming back for next season. As we announced our schedule today, Dan goes above and beyond, helping with calls and the PR side of things getting everything set up, and I respect Dan a lot. He's got a lot of experience in the racing world. So Dan, it's got to be the first one on my list to thank. And I just got to thank my whole admin team. I mean, Nicholas Rasmussen, Brandon Odo, AJ Bunch, Kevin Baker. You know, he had a rough season this year. You know, I got to thank those guys. You know, they stick with me, you know, through the thick and the thin, and you know, and they're with me making those tough calls as well. But you know, when the end of the day comes around, you know, the decision really falls on my shoulders, and I gotta, you know, make what's right. And it was probably one of the least fun seasons as far as that aspect goes. You know, having to make those tough calls, and you know, some people, you know, feelings get hurt, but you move on the racetrack. They're just a number, so you know, I'd still talk to them outside of racing and go from there. But you know, I just gotta thank everybody involved, all the racers. I mean, without them, this league doesn't happen. You know, I think we averaged 26 cars this season per race, which is phenomenal. You know, so it was a good season, and hopefully it was pretty entertaining for everybody out there watching, and for you guys to call up in the booth.
Before we let you go and before we head off for the off break here, if people want to be able to get out there on track with you guys, if people want more information, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, you can get a hold of us. We're on Facebook. Just search Upstate Racing League. We have a page on there. Also, go to our website, upstateracing.com. We've posted, you know, a link, and we'll be opening up registration probably sometime mid-July or so. We're going to have a rookie entry series before our main series kicks off in October 22nd next season. So if you haven't ran with the league or haven't been endorsed by one of our racers that race in the league, then that's the way you're going to have to get into the league. We're going to be a little bit more selective and hopefully clean up the racing and make it a little more entertaining. Next year is going to be a true short track season, and if you haven't checked out the schedule yet, it's I think it's probably one of our best schedules.
Well, that is your 5th place finisher tonight and the man that makes the Upstate Racing League work. Thanks, Al, for taking a moment to talk with us. Thanks for making this possible, and we hope to see you guys later on in 2015.
Yeah, thank you guys, and you know, thanks to you too, Petey, down there. I'd see you down there with whoever you got next to talk to. But thank you guys, and Laura back in the truck. You guys do a hell of a job. One of the best broadcasts, if not the best broadcast in the iRacing and sim world. So keep up the great work.
We appreciate the kind words, Al. And Petey, before we step away, he talked about the 2015 schedule. Stacks up at a total of 12 races. The difference really comes down to it's a 3-race chase for the championship. But here's what you got. All regular season races are 100 laps. Iowa, Oxford, Martinsville, Irwindale. The yet-to-be-released Five Flags Speedway that plays host to the Snowball Derby. South Boston, Lanier, USA, and Stafford, followed up by a 3-race chase for the championship with Langley, Lucas Oil, and New Smyrna. That is true short track racing right there.
True short track racing. It kind of makes my mouth water. Man, I love me some short tracks, and this is going to be fun next season. Can't believe we have to wait all the way to October 22nd to go to Iowa. It's going to be so long, and Evan, we're going to have a whole lot of fun, but this is the last time I talk about Upstate Racing. Until then, this has been a fantastic season. Can't wait to get some more. And, man, Championship Week has just kicked off on LSRTV. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the iSuper Speedway Championship. Man, this has been a great week, Evan, and we get to do it all over again tomorrow night.
It is a race that, again, is made possible by a whole lot of partners. The weekly race award partners, the Perry Plumbing Heated and Cooling Pole Award that is handed out to the pole sitter, the Philip Thompson Racing Hard Charger Award for the most positions gained throughout the night, the NHR Racing Rookie of the Year for the highest placing rookie in the field each night, as well as Ryan Borges, who takes it at the end of the year. You got the D's Pit Stop, those guys providing the Sportsmanship Award for the highest placing driver that has 0 incidents, as well as the title sponsor, the Lake City RC Speedway, where they have the final Jeff Sears Memorial Race coming up this Saturday on the famed paperclip of the North of Lake City RC Speedway, title sponsor of Upstate Season 4, and then everybody else that's come on as title sponsors for racing. Hanson Starter Shop, Perry Plumbing, Heated and Cooling, Philip Thompson Racing, the NHR guys again, K&R Construction, and Hag TV for being able to make this possible. We're going to be with some short track withdrawals, so if anybody's got some short track stuff going on, please let us know, because Season 5 returns on October the 22nd, 2015. For more information to find out on where you can find that, again, Upstate Racing League, or rather upstateracing.com, as well. Search Upstate Racing League on Facebook for more information on them. It's been a blast, and on behalf of everybody that's been in the booth all season long and the team tonight, myself, Evan Pasoko, PDJ Zeller, and as always, executive producer Laura Lawson, congratulations to the Rookie of the Year and winner tonight, Ryan Borges, and a big congratulations to a first-time Upstate Racing champion, Brandon Otto. Good night from the Iowa Speedway, and we'll see you later on in 2015.